Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Green face card, never decline or what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Green face card, never decline or what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Green face card, never decline or what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me.
All right, Vibers, what is going on? What is going on? So, as you can see, honey, we are on some mess today, but actually, it's not really mess, okay? It's really something that needed to come out, something that needed to be said, and something that we've been calling out for a long, long time. So, who is familiar with the Queen Maker? I'm pretty sure most of us are. Princella Clark. And let me say this disclaimer before we pop any of this off, right? And this is for the little core makerettes, right? Let me tell you something. Do not come into my comment section with that mess, okay? Most of you all are remedial. You like it's and ridiculously remedial at that, right? Do not come over here mad because Princella is being called out by a white woman. Because here's the thing. Remember, Princella also says that white women are the most oppressed. She uses the books and the works of white women to validate what she says is issues with Black women, as well as, studies of apes and stuff like that. She says that, that's the behavior that you all should be following. So don't come over here with that mess. Princella has literally had this woman on her platform, lots of stuff. And these are things that people that are not brainwashed and broken have been able to see and articulate about her for a long time. But the issue is this. The issue is that you all who follow this woman, I do believe that most of you are well-intentioned, but a lot of you are bent and broken, okay? Which is why you're attracted to her message, which is why you fight in comment sections for her. And like, I've never advocated for my base to go around fucking with people and all of this kind of stuff, because the truth is going to stand how it stands, right? No one's hating on her. No one's jealous of her. Okay. And in fact, really, I could make the case that it might be in reverse based on her content style, right? But we got a lot to cover because she's definitely being called out, and I believe in a very righteous way. Shout out to the Vibers. Okay. Thank you guys for coming through. So I am going to shout out a sponsor, and then we're going to get right into this mess. I hope everybody's doing well. Okay. And by the way, disclaimer, if we refer to them as bonobos, her family, I'm sorry, not her family, her followers, it's not because we're calling Black women a monkey species. This is what she told them to follow. She told them that they needed to behave like these bonobos. So just so you know, it's a word that she pressed upon them, and we agree. So if you get called a bonobo, you just get called a bonobo. But there's a lot of history here and a lot of mess, and we're gonna get into it all. I'll be right back after we shout out these sponsors. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, even if you're watching on the playback. This product is so important because not only is it produced with care, but it actually has proven results. There have been over 10,000 units of this sold. The company name is shareabutters.com, and this was developed with love by a woman who simply wanted to help her beautiful daughter as she recovered from the devastating effects of cancer, chemo, and radiation burn, and has helped many others with fading stretch marks, eczema, and many other skin issues. Check out the website as it has tons of other valuable products. Check it out. There will be a link and a discount code pinned in the comments section of this video.
Experience the ultimate in feminine care with the Sweet Yoni Lavender QG Gel Wash. This soothing, lavender-infused formula ensures freshness and comfort all day, elevating your hygiene routine. Click the link and shop now.
Nobody is above blocking. You stress me, I block you. You give me attitude, I block you. You come on my page, talk crazy stuff, I block you. You don't like me, me don't like you, I block you. It's real life.
All right, so let's get into it. Yes, it's real life. And yes, like, I'm not taking the disrespect because I don't have to. So listen. Oh, really? Did you? Sexy RN, CCRN. You got it? Do you like it? I know you love it. I know you love it. I already know. Let me know. And you can be honest. Like, let me know. Okay. Because I've been using it for years. I love it. Let me know if you like it. Okay, girl. So listen, my girl Fuzzy Spirals, shout out to her. This comment that she just made, she said it loud and proud with her whole bird chest. Y'all are my bees, and referred to them as bonobos. And just like my husband said earlier when he went live, we have had people come onto the platform and literally say, Princella is my pimp. I'm her bitch. I'm her hoe. All of this kind of stuff. So the disrespect is not some outward disrespect. It literally is we're just going to agree with y'all. If y'all want to be bitches and hoes, honey, who are we to tell you to want or think better for yourself? Okay. We know that everybody's decentering men until the man shows up in form of a woman. Okay. Even before we get into it, like, let's talk about this, right? This decentering men movement. Before we even get into it, how are we decentering men while slowly morphing into one? Can someone explain that logic to me? Because for some reason, I have not found it out. But what I have seen is that slowly, very slowly, what is wrong? My everything's kind of slowing down. Anyway, slowly, Princella has morphed into what looks like a male. She wears men's jewelry. She wears men's clothes. She sags her pants. She has a male swag. She is starting to look just like a male. So I don't know how the decentering men movement became a movement of women that like literally are turning into men. It's weird to me. But anyway, on top of that, let's get into this and we'll get started with what's going on TikTok, right? BWE, Black Women's Empowerment, right? Why is it that it took this woman to actually read her in the most poetic, but very true and authentic way? I'll tell you why. Because BWE content creators are full of shit. The reason why no one else wanted to call out Princella, there's two reasons. BWE is centered in toxicity, hatred, and no authenticity. You either have women, Black women who worship white men, who worship marriage, or who worship Black men, or a combination of just being completely jaded, right? Most of these women have had nothing but horrible relationships. Most of these women have children with men that have multiple moms. Most of these women have not had a good example as far as what a marriage should look like and all that ever in their life. Now, is that their fault? No. But what I can say is that they make an extreme effort to try and discredit those of us who have never made those mistakes, right? Those of us who have never gave a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, set of children to a man. Those of us who have never paid men or given men our money. Those of us that have never let a man walk around and be with us without accountability. Those of us who have never, fell for the okie doke. We get discredited, right? Why is that? Well, number one, most of these whores, okay, are manifesting so much harm and toxicity for these women. It's almost like a religion. You guys like to sit up and talk about how horrible everybody is. And look, I'm not saying that these Negroes, some of them aren't bad, because I will drag them for filth myself. Okay. I wrote a book. I published a book, The Mammy DSM, talking about the attitudes of women in these relationships and where it comes from. Right. So I am very much aware, but I'm also very much aware how this has been manipulative behavior on behalf of the content creators. It's a money grab. They do not give a damn about these women. They have nothing for them but a cycle of toxicity. Okay. So we'll get into a little bit more, because I already know that these videos that we're about to review are going to trigger a lot of things, because I actually give a damn about women. I actually give a damn. Okay. But I will just tell you, the most toxic and unsafe space online is in spaces of Black women's empowerment. Okay. There's no empowerment in speaking about men all day. Okay. And talking about these horrifying relationships. They don't want to talk about femicide. They don't want to talk about STDs. They don't want to talk about ovarian cancer. They don't want to talk about closing the wage gap. They don't want to talk about how Black women are starting to self-harm more. They don't want to talk about anything outside of men because they want to keep you in a toxic cycle. But again, if there is anyone that comes into the space that has not put themselves in positions that they have, right, where they are constantly getting tricked by men, constantly getting dragged and dogged by men, constantly making mistakes of men, putting themselves in positions to where they have to be providers, putting themselves in positions to where they are ran the fuck down, right? Those of us that haven't done that, they discredit. And so do you guys, because you need your Sunday service. And your Sunday service is literally listen to these hoes. So let me go ahead and pull this into the stream. Let me just move the comments section, because actually, you know what, I do it like that. I don't know that we need it because you guys will be able to watch the playback. And actually, let's just make this a little bit bigger so that we can see it better. Okay. All right. So the first time I heard of this person who goes by Flawed Villain or Infinitely Balanced was maybe a couple of weeks ago. It literally was just one of those days. I'm on social media. I was on TikTok and I'm scrolling, and this woman, and I noticed because it was a white woman on Princella's panel, and immediately Princella was doing the virtue signaling and the dog whistling that I'm not even going to get into because so many people fall for it that it's not worth having to explain and break it down because people get upset when you do that. I don't even want to do that, right? So because it'll take us down the rabbit hole. But immediately I saw the gaslighting. Now, again, I don't know the extent of this woman's content, but I will say that they are all in the same lane. Okay. They're talking about the decentering men and all this kind of stuff. But whatever happened, I'm sure Princella hates that it happened, but her followers are kind of like they're little window lickers. So a lot of them are not going to pay attention to it. A lot of the focus of what this lady is talking about is surrounding the relationship that Princella has with her 23-year-old girlfriend, Jasmine. So here's the backstory. The young lady that was a victim of Princella, Princella has an SA allegation from a young lady that I'd interviewed about a year ago. And they all went to a retreat, and they all just met through the young lady that Princella SA'd. After all of this takes place, Princella SA's this woman. They're around. It's a lot of stuff that happened with her children. And this is even before the situation happened with B. Taylor, right? So she introduces the young woman to Princella. Princella right away jumps the woman's bones. Princella at that time was 39. The lady is 23. Now, Princella and all BWE content creators are vehemently against age gap relationships because of the obvious reasons. Typically, it is a man and a younger woman. The guys end up getting with these women because older women are going to hold them accountable. They can't run game on them and all that kind of stuff. Same shit, right? That's going on. Princella literally cuffs this woman really, really quickly. And there's some sort of, there's a little allegation. So I'm going to get off my soapbox and start playing these videos. Okay. This woman has been going ham on Princella for about 3 days. When I tell you she got maybe 100 videos. So let's go ahead and get into it. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Okay. Oh yes. T baby. It's a lot going on.
Princella the Queenmaker is a fucking groomer and a predator. Let me show you how easily I clocked her shit last night with just that one video.
Because let me guess, her talking point about this situation is going to be similar to what the men say, right? She's just so mature for her age.
Because she mature, bitch. Why you dating a 23-year-old? Why you sucking dick, bitch?
Moves that predators and groomers make are really easy to predict. You don't have to be a man to be a fucking predator. All you have to be is a broken ass individual with a weak ass disgusting ego that wants to go out into this world and destroy someone else. Because that's exactly what she's doing. She's an old ass woman, found a 23-year-old woman to manipulate with a 16-year age gap, even though she herself claimed that she doesn't approve of age gap relationships.
Age gap dating, how do we feel about older individuals dating much younger individuals? Princella, let's start with you.
I'm a leader in my mentality, and even when you are, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, military, whatever, you have a code of ethics. The higher you go, it becomes unethical to date or deal with lower enlisted people, right? Because you have a power over them. So when it comes to, I don't care if it's a male or female, I am not for major age gaps, because there is a power gap, and people are out here power driven and ego driven, and most people in those younger age gaps end up getting screwed over, right? And I'm a humanitarian, and I'm about righteousness, and it's unethical for older people to be fucking with kids or younger people that they have power over. So that's my thing.
Charleston.
Picking clients from her Queen Maker program and dating them, grooming them, moving a young woman into her fucking house. When men do this shit, I will also call it out. Because a spade is a fucking spade. Princella the Queen Maker is a fucking
Okay.
groomer.
So let's stop it right there. This video, okay, listen. Listen. Again, I don't know much about this lady. I just saw this stuff last night and I was like, oh, dear God, what is going on? So listen. All facts. Princella said it herself. There is a reason for these age gap situations. And she said she doesn't care if it's male or female, right? She is saying that those relationships are so that the elder person can leverage power over the younger person, right? But I guess it doesn't apply to her, right? Because of course, narcissists, they're exempt. They're above, everything else. Honey, listen. Keontae said, it's sad that a white woman has to say the things you've been saying for years for people to peep how fucking weird she is. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the reasons why is these women, the other BWE content creators, know that there is a bag attached, right? So Taz and I were the only people stupid enough to not give a fuck about the bag and stand on business, okay? And, people allow them to say stuff like, oh, you're just jealous because their platforms are larger and all this kind of stuff, because they're not listening, right? And the content creators that are BWE, right? They know that they're controlled by their subs, right? They're not there to help those women. They're there to give those women what those women want to hear. Because the moment you stop giving them what they want to hear and just give them the truth, they will leave you, they will drag you, they will slander you. Princella was giving them fresh meat, okay? Telling them everything that they wanted to hear. And even when she did the switch up, which I think it has hurt her a bit when she did that, they do not want to hear anything outside of whatever reality that they have created, right? So, and instead of risking upsetting their subs, they will lie. They will ignore. But here's the thing. Let's think about it. Because in male spaces, or even let's say when we were in spaces and Taz was in support of BWE, if Taz did not call out a man for what they deemed was horrible and, a bad position for Black women, especially, all hell would break loose, right? It's okay for us to call out men, right? But when it comes to calling out our peers, other Black women, oh no, that's off limits. That's how you become, anti-Black women. That's how you become a mammy, which is why I had to take control over the language that surrounded what a mammy was, because they're even manipulating that in order to not have any accountability, right? So yeah, you can't, they're controlled by the subs. As soon as the subs, say, no, well, I like this person, they are threatened by that. So because they're money motivated, they don't want to lose subs. They don't want to argue with them about it. They're going to let it slide. They're not going to call her out, but they'll call out a man over false allegations a lot of times as well, right? Okay. How many times do we hear the Taz beats Nyla story? You know what I'm saying? So they will call out and hold panels and conferences over that. But when it comes to a bitch like Princella, they have nothing to say, baby. They have nothing to say. And again, that is for a reason, because you can't ain't no accountability with these women. But yeah, we're going to let the white girl tell it. And watch, this all becomes about racism. And here's the thing. A broken clock can be right a couple of times a day, honey. So look, I don't know. Watch, this turns into racism and anti-Black woman. And also, I'm glad that she has a large platform so that you guys can't say this is about jealousy. I just want to know all of the deflection that the little bonobo monkey ladies are going to be coming up with to deflect for their cult leader. Let's go. Let's go to the next video.
Let this video be a reminder.
That's not it.
This might radicalize y'all, okay? It is the $1 trillion lie. Honestly, I have to make an apology.
Oh, this is just her being funny.
I think I made a mistake about Princella. So this is kind of embarrassing. I take back everything that I said about her. If I said anything fucking nice about her, okay, I take back all that shit. I take back any nice things that I said about her. You thought I was gonna let this shit slide? As someone that's worked in the club for 10 years and I see women get groomed and abused by fucking pimps, you thought I was gonna let this fucking slide? You thought that I would just shut up about this? Y'all thought I would just drop this? No. Because to me, I see exactly who Princella is. I see the games that she's fucking playing, especially on this new girl that she is housing, a 23-year-old that she started dating when she was 39, and now she's pimping.
So yeah, she got jokes too. Okay, I want to say something. Listen, Sexy RN, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I definitely appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey Elisha girl. Yeah, Becky's standing her ground, baby. Let's go to the next video. Oh, this is okay, just so you know, she's here for the long haul. They asked, you know, when is she going to stop roasting Princella for grooming a 23-year-old? She says around August. Okay, let's go.
Priscilla is so booty tickled about the fact that I didn't have to get.
Oh wait, sorry about that.
Is so booty tickled about the fact that I didn't have to get pregnant or married to learn hard lessons. She's also mad about the fact that I worked at the club for 10 years and also didn't get robbed for $40,000. She's mad that she was a dumbass her whole life. I'm not putting myself on this high horse because I think I'm better than her. I'm putting myself on this high horse above her because she's a predator. And I'm absolutely above predators. She's an insecure ass woman. She's even jealous of the fact that Shira 7 is put up in the house. Though I don't say women should do what Shira 7 is doing, Princella is definitely even jealous of her because no one picked her to that extent. Because Princella has no fucking game. Every man in her life was able to trick her. That's why she made that fucking book. So instead of her going on some sort of healing journey, she's instead decided to channel Farrakhan and become this person that first abused her, because that's what she keeps talking about. The first man that ran game on me was Farrakhan. Or a Farrakhan type individual. I know exactly the type she's talking about. But because I worked in the club for 10 years, I ran game around everyone. I knew the ins and outs of fucking everything. Nobody was getting anything over on me. Nobody got a dime out of me. And I would even try to help women not go get pimped out. Because I am the real humanitarian. But instead what Princella is doing, because she got finessed and victimized by pimps, she now is turning into the pimp. She is now boyfriend pimping a 23-year-old girl. I know trafficking when I see it. Since she was projecting about the fact that I'm saying she was trafficking when I never fucking did, that's a confession. Everything that she says is a fucking confession and a projection. She carries herself like a pimp. She talks like a pimp. She's not a good one, by the way, because she puts her game all the way out there. She literally wrote a fucking book. So her following doesn't see that she's using pimp tactics to manipulate them. She has turned into the demons that have demonized her. That's really why she didn't like me, because I could see her. And I'm sure that any other S worker can see her too. She is pimping a 23-year-old girl like a fucking predator, then coming online talking about women empowerment. But I see right through her bullshit. Still is so.
Okay, so yeah, so a whole lot. What's going on? Escaped from Bonobo Island. Listen, Okay, so this is actually a point that I made before too. So Princella does have this story about getting into a poly relationship with this couple and them running off of her $40,000 and like, you know, men taking advantage of her. Again, this is definitely not to ever be perceived as like a victim blaming thing, because shit like this happens, right? Women get taken advantage of, right? But when you're Billy Badass, know-it-all, infinitely wise and all this kind of stuff, you know, the same woman that said that every knee shall bow and confess that she is the queen, right? She said that she was sent by the goddess mother herself to earth on this mission, and that you guys are all going to bow down every knee. I'll find the screenshot before we get off here, but baby, all that. Okay. So this woman who has already always talked about how she's basically smarter than everybody. Look, a nigga couldn't trick me out of $15, 50 cents. How did the Queen of Bonobos get tricked out of 40? Girl, you go sit down. Y'all are taking advice from people who have always failed and got made a fool out of, and demonizing the people who have not had that experience because we didn't go the first goddamn time. Let us continue, okay?
Well, if Princella claims that sperm alters your brain and your DNA, what the fuck does that mean for her since she's been impregnated 8 times and had 7 abortions? I think it really makes sense why the fuck she acts the way that she does, doesn't it? Explains why she has turned into the men that have dog-walked her. Well, if Princella...
Okay, so sis is not playing, okay? So, I mean, it's a valid question. So I'm thinking something happened based on the other videos that I saw where there was a confession of sorts of abortions, abortion pills, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I think that's a valid question. Okay, that absolutely sounds like poor pussy management. And why are we using abortion clinics and abortion as a form of birth control any damn way? We know that there's got to be some psychological issues there to have traumatized your womb that much. Okay. And again, I am pro-choice, so I would never shade a woman for making the decision that is best for her in her moment. But 8 times, I'm listening and judging. Okay. 8 times. Okay. Thank you so very, very much. Journey with Korean, baby. I know, right? I know, girl. I know. You can't do nothing but laugh. I know. Okay. Let's go on. Lots to cover.
Y'all don't want your power. You don't want it. You don't want it.
Don't want it.
And the children suffer because you don't want it.
You don't want it.
So the Queenmaker never went on that live to help me. She did that live to help herself. She doesn't do anything out of the kindness of her heart to try to help other people in bad situations. She didn't do it to give me an opportunity. She was looking for her own opportunity. She had to make it look like it was just good enough so that it didn't look like she cornered me. But in reality, that's exactly what she was doing, was cornering me. Now that I see her true character and how she actually operates, and how she manipulates people, because why else would a 39-year-old be dating a 23-year-old? See the full scope of Princella's character, because I already had some things told to me, but I didn't jump to conclusions entirely, mostly because I needed all the pieces to come together nicely. Princella is a fucking snake. She came into my DM saying that women don't collaborate with her, she works better with men. When she wasn't trying to collaborate with me, she was trying to divide and conquer. She could have collaborated with me. We could have made something bigger from that live, but manipulation is hard for y'all to see, because that's why she can easily manipulate you. If she came on that live just attacking me, y'all would have been like, wow, she's an evil bitch. But instead, if she put on this front that she was the good guy while sprinkling in some talking points to pander to her team, she looked like she was doing just the right thing. In reality, Princella uses everyone for her own fucking gain. The way she is using a 23-year-old woman in her house. Do you think she started dating a 23-year-old to help her? Or do you think it was for her own gain? Princella herself said that age gap relationships are a no-go. So why would she do it? Oh, because it benefits her. Because it doesn't benefit her to try to play her games with someone that's actually her age. because women her age will see through her bullshit. Plenty women on this app see through her bullshit. You just don't yet. Because even I was a little confused with some people's claims. People saying how she talks to her followers on her lives. I was like, no, that's kind of crazy. But every time you go into her live, she is attacking her followers. Not in a way of helping, though, because that's what she says. She's holding women accountable. She's projecting all of her life experiences on all of her followers. Everything that she's ever gone through in her life, she's projecting it onto her viewers. She wants her followers to feel the same shame and take some of that pain away from her. She is projecting. She's a master projector. By other people's terms, a grandiose narcissist. Have an exaggerated belief in their own abilities and achievements. She lies about who she is, by the way. She got dishonorably discharged from the military. She comes on here lying about how she was in the military and how she did everything right in her life. Constant need for validation and self-perceived superiority. I'm the decenter men queen. I'm better than all these bitches. I'm the first one to talk about this, when in fact she actually isn't. I just made a video on who first coined the term decenter men. Struggle to understand or share the feelings of others, often viewing others as an object to be used or manipulated. Take advantage of others around to achieve their goals, showing a lack of concern for the well-being of those around them. Often harbor grandiose fantasies about their future accomplishments and abilities. Decentering males was started by Princella the Queenmaker, another fucking lie. Putting herself on this fucking pedestal like she's the one, the fucking only. In reality, Charlie's Toolbox on TikTok is who started decentering men. She coined the term in her book in 2019. Never got the flowers she deserved. But what do I know? Y'all want to follow a fucking predator that is grooming a 23-year-old. She's not 23 anymore. When they met, she was 23 and she was 30 fucking 9. She is a manipulator. She uses people to her own advantage without any remorse for what she's going to do to other people. Facts are right there in your face. She has the evidence living in her house. So the Queenmaker never went on that live.
Okay, let me pause here. All right, so in Toy Berry, remind me, because I do have a screen recording of her addressing the Sandra Bland again. So in case you guys don't know, we did a stream a couple of years ago that addressed her horrifying comments towards Sandra Bland. And in order to respond to us, she actually doubled down on it. And she had a lot of Black women, victim blaming Sandra Bland, going in on her and all of this kind of stuff. Now, you guys do know that there are actually laws on the books now in Texas because of Sandra Bland. They literally have a Sandra Bland Act, right? And Princella just, basically was, reduced her to being a loudmouth ghetto bitch that got what she was asking for, right? And there was a comment section full of Black women agreeing, and absolutely insane. Now, Princella, was going around telling people that she was doing lectures at colleges when really she was doing a book tour that was owned by men, who she says that you're supposed to decenter. So because of that book tour and the bag being in jeopardy, she had to take that shit down. So she put it on private. She apologized for hurting people and all that kind of stuff. But then she doubled down on it again recently. And that is the live where I just happened to be scrolling, y'all, and she came in my TikTok feed and she was on with this woman. So I'll go ahead and play that. But one thing that she said about how Princella lies and steals content, she absolutely does. Absolutely does. Starry-Eyed, Save Productions, who else? Journey with Corinne, who was here for my stream 3 years ago when I talked about your being a mammy or being male identified and submitting to the patriarchy started with how religion was taught to you. Who was there for that stream? It was epic. Okay. Epic stream. If you go scroll down my IG a couple of years, you will see, right? You will see me talking about it because you'll see the screenshot of me advertising the live stream. The day that the funny business happened with my channel, the very next day, Princella releases a video saying, I am going to tell you something that nobody else has ever told to you, and proceeded to take what I had already put out and said, and very successfully. I mean, we probably had like two G's, 2,000 women in the live chat on their channel, right? Talking about it. She literally took credit for it and said no one had ever discovered this before. And then you go in order of all of the videos that I had did, right? And she did this literally the day after the funny business happened with the channel, right? In order, she started redoing the content. Not only did she redo and manipulate the content that I was doing with other people, but with many other people. And now all of the women come around, and if you say stuff or you identify, hey, that's not true, someone else did this person started that, they get upset about it. They get upset about it, just like this lady said. Let's continue.
This is how you carry on.
And this is her making fun of her. So the comment or the prompt that says, you're trying to be like her being Princella, right? It's obvious. I don't know why you keep talking about her. You're going to look back at these videos and feel embarrassed. I'll give it a few weeks and months. She got you acting the same as her or whatever. And this is her just, kind of dragging the bonobos. This is her basically sharing who actually coined the phrase in her book in 2019, decentering men. But yet the bonobos are going around saying this movement was started by Princella and that the phrase came from Princella. Shame. Absolute shame. So shout out to Flawed Villain for bringing that out. Okay, let's go.
Age gap relationships entirely depend on your stage of life. It's not just a number. 10-year age gap is pretty significant if it's someone who's 20 and then someone who's 30. And be like, oh, but I've done that. It's about the life experiences that you go through in your 20s. Someone who's freshly 20 does not know what they are signing up for when they get into their 20s. When you hit 30 years old, you look at your 20s in hindsight and you're like, damn, I went through some shit. Especially your 20s. That's kind of the stage of your life when you are actually more of an adult. I say like your 20s are like your adult teenage years. You're likely making a lot of mistakes, starting a career, starting a job, maybe bouncing around from jobs, starting school, dropping out of school, switching your major, going out partying with friends, losing friends, making friends. There's so many things that happen in your 20s. Then there's so many things that also happen in your 30s. The more foundational pieces of your life are being laid in your 30s.
In this video, she's being asked about the age gap thing because Princella and this girl has a huge age gap. Her girlfriend was 23 and she was 39. Princella groomed this woman. And as far as I'm concerned, she just basically went and got her a baby mama. Okay. Turned this girl into a baby mama. You can't tell me anything different based on what we've seen online and the other experiences that other people have had. But let us continue.
I roast people on this page. This page is not educational. This page has been a roast. Princella loves to talk about the biology of human beings. She talks about it often. So it's really, I roast people on this page. This page is not educational.
I'm sorry. I keep hitting this.
I got a thing for you.
I mistake. Sorry, guys.
Princella loves to talk about the biology of human beings. She talks about it often. So it's really convenient that she wants to overlook this little fact about the brain not fully developing until 25 to even 30 sometimes. She's very heavy on talking about biology. And because she knows the game of pimping, she knows exactly why she is dating someone that's under 25. Because the pimps also go after women that are under 25 for a fucking reason. Things like reasoning, planning, impulse control, and emotional regulation are controlled by the prefrontal cortex. When you're in relationships when you're younger before your brain is fully developed, the way you respond to a lot of situations is a little bit different. An immature brain is very easy to manipulate. But with impulse control, making decisions without thinking through the consequences, dating someone who is under 25, that when you're 39, you've already had a lot of life experience, that person doesn't realize what they're signing up for. They're signing up to throw away their 20s to deal with someone who has already lived through their 20s and who's also mostly lived through their 30s. Time is something that you can't get back. It's a huge consequence to throw away a decade of your life for someone that's already lived almost 2 decades more than you. Risk assessment, judging danger, red flags, and emotional harm. You're really naive when you're under 25, okay? But also all brains, all prefrontal cortexes don't stop developing up until 25. It goes later. Future planning, thinking long-term or setting personal boundaries. Like I said earlier, the consequences of not thinking about the fucking actual future. Girlfriend that she's dating right now that's 23 fucking years old when they met is not thinking about future planning with someone that is 16 years older than her. Then the emotional regulation when your brain isn't fully developed, managing breakups, fights, or intense emotional highs and lows. Love bombing feels real intense. Instead of moving in a 23-year-old within a year is love bombing. It makes you feel like you're so important, you're so good, they really fucking care about you. Oh my God, this is so fucking amazing. Because as you get older, you're gonna look at it and be like, why the fuck is this person trying to move me into their fucking house? I don't even know them. That you are naive when you're younger. Self-identity and autonomy, knowing who you are outside of someone else's influence. Men talk about these things all the time and they're like, well, you can really mold a younger woman into who you want her to be without letting her find her own identity. A 23-year-old has not found their identity. 20s really are about finding your identity. It shouldn't be about molding into someone else. And this could also be the case even with somebody that you are dating who is the same age, right? If you don't know how to have your own autonomy, then you don't know who the fuck you are. You don't know what you want for the future. You don't know who you want to be. Dating someone that is 30.
So I feel like she's making a good point here, y'all. Princella wants a 23-year-old woman for the same reasons that other 40-year-old men want a 23-year-old woman. The brain is not developed completely. She can leverage power, financial stuff. And again, I know she needs a baby mama based on what happened with that, you know, what B. Taylor brought out about her, what the lady that she SA brought out about her. She just, you know, she wants someone that she can control. You know, it's obvious. That's the only reason, because at the end of the day, I'm older than everybody, but I have a 30, how's my daughter? 34-year-old daughter, right? Typically, and I'm not saying that I cannot be friends with a woman in her 30s, but honestly, like, how deep is the relationship going to be, right? There's going to be, most of my girlfriends are, you know, 50 plus, late 40s, you know, right at 40 or whatever. And that's because there is a dynamic, a difference in, you know, our experiences. So a 34-year-old woman is going to look at me like maybe big sis or aunt, and I'm going to look at them the same way, you know, little sis, or niece, you know what I'm saying? So even thinking in terms of relationships, if you don't even have anything in common with a 30-year-old at 40, you know what I'm saying, guys? Like it's just insane. But by the time Princella's done with her and she's, you know, gone through whatever she's going through, hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she's okay and not jaded. But best believe that relationship will not end without scandal. There will be a scandal, okay? Trust and believe. There will be a scandal at the end of this relationship and at the end of Princella's next relationship, okay? We may not learn of it right away, but baby, we're going to learn about it, okay? So let's see.
39 that has already had all that life experience was now going to mold you into who they want you to be, which is clearly happening. That's why her girlfriend is regurgitating all her talking points on live. I was saying earlier, love bombing feels more intense when your brain is still developing. I know y'all remember your relationships when you were like in fucking high school, because like I said, people are chasing the high of relationships because it really.
So I'm going to go ahead and, because I think she made her point about, you know, and just literally being a predatory situation. Let's go.
I got a thing for you.
Oh no.
And I can't let go.
Not her making fun of Princella. So if you don't get this reference, and I have video of this as well, there are so many live streams that Princella does where she's like channeling Aaliyah. It's something about channeling Aaliyah, especially before she was like, you know, back when she was like 18, 19, she always channels her, right? She does these little seductive like dances for their, you know, when she does her grooming sessions, right? In her grooming sessions, one time in particular, I remember her telling her followers, and I know it's in a lot of the videos that we've done on this topic, right? She's telling them how like, you know, men are gross, they're nasty, they don't wash their balls, and Y'all act like it's something wrong with putting a woman's breast in your mouth. We've all had them in their mouth when you got breastfeed. It's nothing. What, you afraid the woman gonna smell good? She literally grooms them. And I believe in the audio that I'm going to share with you guys, this is one that she said something to the effect of basically you guys are caught up with the feeling if you haven't ventured over into the other side. Like, she's literally grooming women into thinking that if you don't decide to be intimate or date another woman, that is something wrong with you and you don't really love women unless you want to have sex with them. Now, mind you, just like every other dusty Negro, Princella is also into polygamy, right? I have the receipts of Princella emphatically saying that she will never be with just one woman because she is too dynamic. And I quote, "I am too dynamic of an individual for just one person." Okay. Now, all of these women that gather around her, they hate people like Nature Boy. They hate people, and they should. People like Dr. York and all these folks that love to, push polygamy and stuff like that on women. She's doing the same thing. And if you really, really think about it, now, her newer content is kind of like agreeing with the men and what they're saying or whatever, because she wants to do the same fucking thing to women that men have done. Okay. Escape from Bonobo Island says, B. Taylor said that Princella doesn't wash her ass. And I believe Princella looks dirty. Like, can we keep it a buck? She looks dirty. And I'm not even trying to drag her, but like you know how you can look at some people and tell they don't wash that. I mean, you know she don't. So anyway, yeah, let's move on. Okay. Yolanda Kendrick says, that's why I stopped following her. I felt like she was trying to turn. She is, like, in the one video where she was like dancing and trying to like simulate sex and stuff like that with women. She was saying stuff like, you don't know if you don't know this until you try it, or something to that effect. And she was talking about how if you want penetration for sexual gratification, you're male identified, right? I'm sorry, but I have a vagina. You have a vagina. The vagina serves a couple of purposes, and one of it is for proper placement of the penis, right? And there's a reason why you have an orgasm from your vagina from a penis, or some people, use, something artificial or whatever. But like, yeah, you can have a clitoral orgasm, that's cute. But a real orgasm comes from, inside, your, you know what I'm saying? So like, the fact that she is always trying to tell women that the natural inclinations that we have and the normal things that we have, sexually or biologically or whatever, is wrong. It's crazy. It's crazy. So let's see what else she has.
Groomer and a predator. Let me show you how easily I clocked her shit last night with just that one video.
Because let me guess, her talking point about this situation is going to be similar to what the men say, right? She's just so mature for her age.
Because she mature, bitch. Why you dating a 23-year-old? Why you sucking dick, bitch?
Moves that predators and groomers make are really easy to predict. You don't have to be a man to be a fucking predator. All you have to be is a broken ass individual with a weak ass disgusting ego that wants to go out into this world and destroy someone else. Because that's exactly what she's doing. She's an old ass woman, found a 23-year-old woman to manipulate with a 16-year age gap, even though she herself claimed that she doesn't approve of age gap relationships.
Age gap dating, how do we feel about older individuals dating much younger individuals? Princella, let's start with you.
I'm a leader in my mentality, and even when you are, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, military, whatever, you have a code of ethics. The higher you go, it becomes unethical to date or deal with lower enlisted people, right? Because you have a power over them. So when it comes to, I don't care if it's a male or female, I am not for major age gaps because there is a power gap, and people are out here power driven and ego driven, and most people in those younger age gaps end up getting screwed over. Right, and I'm a humanitarian, and I'm about righteousness, and
About
I don't.
righteousness.
It's unethical for older people to be fucking with kids or younger people that they have power over. So that's my thing.
Charleston.
Taking clients from her Queen Maker program and dating them, grooming them, moving a young woman into her fucking house. When men do this shit, I will also call it out. Because a spade is a fucking spade. Groomer and a predator. Let me show you. The way that I saw Princella talking about this girl on her live today was very telling of her being her boyfriend pimp from what I saw. Princella's 39. Let's keep reminding everyone of that. And then she met this girl at 23. And this girl, Jasmine, was a dancer. I don't know if she still is a dancer unless something else is going on here, but she was a stripper in the club. I'm going to tell you right now, 23 in the club, you're young and naive and dumb still, okay? That you still don't have the game unless you've maybe been in there since you were 18 and you really got the game down. In my opinion, you still don't have the game down at 23 in the club, okay? In my last year at the club, I could tell when girls were under 25. There's a different demeanor for girls that are under 25 and in the club, okay? So in my eyes, I look at those girls as young and naive, okay? So the fact that Princella got this girl from her coaching program and is now having her live with her and is now up talking her in such an interesting way where she is kind of manly way, I would say, kind of like how pimps do, like she's such a fucking baddie, like she really gets this bag, she does this, she does that, she's a fuck. Because in that live, that's what she was doing, okay? She was trying to flex on the money that her girl can make, all right? This is shit that pimps do. This is shit that pimps do. I've seen pimps, okay? I have worked at the club for 10 years of my life, so I know a fucking pimp. I can spot a pimp across the fucking football field. Like, I'm really trying to tell y'all, I can read human beings. Because human beings all have a lot of the same patterns. Her pattern is a manipulative boyfriend pimp right now. She did the typical boyfriend pimp tactics of moving in together, selling her a fucking dream, and is now using her in that house to do whatever the fuck she's doing. I think she's working for Princella. With her mentioning something about a trick getting her an S-class, I was like, that's interesting. So she's still tricking and getting money, but she moved in with you. This is boyfriend pimp shit. The thing is with boyfriend pimps, like it looks like it's a normal relationship unless you can see the signs. One of the signs was how she was up talking her in this live today. Basically, she was talking about her like she is a product and the highest bidder will get her. She started saying that her current girlfriend was a baddie. Then she started talking about B. Taylor and being like, oh, well, she was cool, like body-wise, like she was good. Talking about women like she's a man. But also talking about women in a way of being like a pimp. On that live, they were trying to say that I said she was human trafficking. I never said that, though. But now that I'm thinking about it, because Princella projects everything, I think that is what this is. I think she's pimping her. Because a lot of her fucking behavior is showing me pimp. And she went and studied pimps for her book and went and took notes and interviewed pimps. She did that to get game, to manipulate women. She didn't do that to educate herself. I've learned a lot at the club. I worked there for fucking 10 years, but I didn't have to go interview pimps. I know the ins and outs of society because the club was essentially a microcosm of the world. I learned how to analyze people psychologically because it's not just about looking hot. You think that's all that it is, and it's not. People who have real game know all the layers of it. So in a way, I also learned those same manipulation tactics that she's using, but I'm not going out here and being a fucking predator. Because the game in the wrong hands actually is dangerous. It's kind of how people talk about the 48 laws of power, and they're like, if this book gets in the wrong hands, like it's going to be used for the wrong things. It's the same thing with the game. But when she talks about the game and all these things that she's fucking learned, she's using it against women. Because she got dog walked by so many fucking men that now she's deciding in order to kind of get even in society that she's going to go ahead and manipulate women. These manipulation games.
Can I just pause right there for a second? This is so true. This is so true. Every man that she has been with, according to her, for the most part, they dogged her. They cheated on her. She claims to have been an SA victim, I think 3 or 4 times. And I'm gonna be honest with you, even though I will never take away someone's victim status if that has happened. Princella is such a fucking liar and manipulative person. I don't know that. I don't know. But look, let's let her cook.
Only work on people who are young, dumb, and naive. I talk about this often, how men run game on women who are under 25 or even under 30. Because once you see the game for what it is, even if you don't know all the layers of it that I know, once you see what men are doing, then you won't fall for dumbass tricks. Games that she's trying to play wouldn't work on women her age. That is why she went after a 23-year-old. This is also why all pimps usually go after really young women in the clubs. Because if they try to talk to the older women, oftentimes they're like cool with the older women in the clubs, like they'll chat, but they know that the women know the game. I would talk to all the customers. They knew that I knew the game. But the target has always been younger, naive women in real life or in the game. Life is the game. And Princella is a horrible player at the fucking game. That's why she got dog walked by all these men. And that's why now she's thinking that she's going to manipulate women. But I'm here to expose her disgusting behavior. Because I know the game and I know what the fuck she's doing. I'd rather shed light on it than let her get away with this weird ass shit. The way that I saw.
Okay, so B. Taylor is in the comment section. Someone said, made a comment about B. Taylor actually first. It says, didn't B. Taylor say that Princella asked her to be part of her lives by lighting her cigars and pouring her alcohol? You could tell that when she, quote unquote, got B. Taylor, because we watched it happen on a live stream, that she was doing it to compete with men. My theory on Princella has always been that Princella was literally killing two birds with two stones. Princella equally hates men. Well, she doesn't hate men. She hates women. And let me explain this, right? Because it might be a little bit complex, but come with me for a moment. Every man that she's tried to be with has dogged her out, like this woman has said. Princella's been very open about it, right? Here's what I do know about Princella. When Princella first came to social media, she was pro-Black. She was a Black male worshiper. These are things that she has admitted, right? But what people do not apply to her rightly is that she has always had this arrogance about she's right? And then when she grifts to her next move, it's, oh, I changed. I learned better, right? Okay, we can all do that. We can all grow, evolve, and all this kind of stuff. But she speaks in absolutes all the time. The divine mother or the Wizard of Oz has given her authority, whoever she's saying this time or whatever. And nobody ever stops to say, hey, you were absolutely sure about this. You said God said this to you. You said that you were an expert, but now, you've got another thing, right? Back to these men, right? Princella used to literally be giving out, look, I got receipts going back 10, 11 years on Princella. On Facebook, Princella was sending out scantily clad pictures, nude pictures to different types of men. She was, a big supporter of Tommy Sotomayor, right? She literally would sit on panels with Tommy Sotomayor and drag women and talk about how Black women were making their children homosexual and gay. I have the screenshots, which, we've showed, and a lot of this, ended up on other people's channel. If you see screenshots that are old and old things circulating about her, where she talks about how being in the pride community is a sign of mental illness. Yes, Princella literally said being a lesbian is mental illness. That's what Princella would say, not me, because I don't believe that. But Princella would say that. Princella always would say that Black males, boys, were gay because of their mothers. These are things that she would say. In fact, I'm going to pull this stuff up before we get off, right? Because I don't need anybody that's new to think that I'm just making it up. She classified being a lesbian. She gave reasons. I think she said there's only 4 or 5 reasons that a woman would end up being a lesbian. And one of the reasons that she said was mental illness, sexual trauma, promiscuity, like everything, and it was all bad. Only for a couple of years later for her to be a full-fledged stud, right? And when you bring this out and you talk about it, her little window lickers, the little bonobos, they get upset. They don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But she's upset that she went to the extreme to try to get men to validate her, And she always lost men to women that are similar to the women that she goes after. This is a little complex. So listen, the women that she goes after are beautiful women, feminine women, women who, men like and find attractive and all this kind of stuff. These women in her other spaces and places before she, became the queen maker, these were her enemies. These were her enemies. Princella has never been comfortable being a woman, right? Which is why she's morphing into a male now, right? Princella, her mannerisms, the way she sits. In fact, she even said, you know how she sits and moves like a man? She said that she's the height of femininity. She is the highest form of femininity. So she wants to twist and distort everything, because the women that actually hone in and own their femininity and glow in their femininity, they've always been the problem for her. So she gets to get back at men by, number one, turning those kind of women out that they were after, right? Isolating them from attempting to isolate those kind of women from them. And then she gets to get her get back on those same feminine, attractive women that men actually do want. She gets to get back against those women because she dogs them just like the niggas did. You understand what I'm saying? She does not hate men. She loves men so much that she's turning into one. She does not hate men. She loves them, but she does not like that they do not love her back. That's her problem. But these women have always been what, in her mind, what has stopped these men from, catering to her or being with her or, treating her in a way that, she thought that she deserved. So she gets to take it out on them by, basically doing, what she's doing. So, yeah, let's go. Oh, she's still taught. Oh, she's done with that. Let's go to the next one.
Let's talk about projection, okay? Princella is a master projector, okay? This is what really wounded people do if they've never done any sort of healing journey. They project everything onto other people in order to make other people feel ashamed and feel bad about who they are, because they haven't actually dealt with their own shame. Within all of Princella's lives, you can see her confessing to you who she really is, because everything she's saying is a projection. Earlier today in her live, I'm not going to make speculations, but I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. She was attacking women, saying that y'all have been touching men since you were 12. Y'all have been kissing boys under the bleachers since you were a child. Y'all can't keep men's dicks out of your mouth. The thing is about Princella, because of who I found out that she actually is, with her having 7 fucking abortions and getting impregnated within 2 months of knowing a strange man, everything she said.
Y'all, I was present for the whole situation when Princella first got with Tommy Carr. Let's talk about it. We've showed the pictures. Princella was around here looking like a whole Negro, right? A dusty Negro at that, right? She gets with a man that is damn near 60 years old, right? As a woman that's like 30, right? She gets with him really quickly. They get married really quickly. Bam, she's pregnant, all this kind of stuff. All facts. But here's the thing. Okay, tea time. He was also abusive. Okay. It literally went viral on Facebook. Okay. Because at that time she was doing like a lot of Facebook lives and stuff like that. Princella at one point had flew out to do some sort of collaboration with another person that we know. Right. And because Princella could not get the attention from the he was engaged, from the engaged man that she flew out to do a collaboration with, because she couldn't get attention from him in the way that she thought. And she thought that because she was, whoever she thought she was, he was supposed to prioritize her, and he didn't. She took umbrage with that. Her husband ended up finding some text messages in her phone and didn't like it, some communications between her and the guy, and he beat her. Or at least hit her, right? The bruises were evident. Everyone saw them. Definitely, you know, she had my empathy for that. I felt bad for her because at this point, I didn't know, you know, I didn't know just, you know, how deep her, you know, her psychosis was or whatever. So we were all like, oh my God, oh my God. And at this time, she was either pregnant when he did that to her or she had just had the baby. It was one of those, I can't remember. I'll have to ask China, right? But it was terrible. But she just basically was like, well, no, he didn't do this. He grabbed me. And because I'm really light, you know, she covered for him. Okay. She definitely covered for him. I remember that it was a lot of stuff going on with this woman, a lot of stuff, but oh, that's why he was mad too, because Princella used to, you know, send her photos out. She would take photos in lingerie and stuff like that and give it to guys or whatever. And once she announced that she got married to dude, you know how niggas are, they start exposing her. Okay. Elisha Space says her website shows only partnerships with men. You don't see partnerships with women. So why are women listening to her if she isn't partnering with them, with other women? So maybe that's changing, but not baby. Oh, you have no idea. You know what, Elisha, for our collab, I had, you know, we were keeping on the, you know, the toxic mom situation, but we might need to do a part 2 of this where you come from a therapist perspective. This might be what we need to do, honey. Okay. Because there's a lot. Maybe we could react to and review, and you can give your expert opinion about some of her content. Okay. Let me go ahead and finish this video out.
Is a projection and a confession of her own life story. Okay. She's not doing this out of the kindness of her heart and sharing her life experiences and trying to get sympathy. Instead, what she's doing is she's projecting everything onto her viewers so that y'all feel the same pain and the same shame that she feels. She's sending it your way, okay? She likes to siphon people's energy and she likes to drop her negative energy onto other people, okay? That's who she is as a person. A few weeks ago when I went on that live with Princella, before I even turned my camera on, the first thing that she says to me, I'm saying hi like a normal, polite person. First thing that she says to me is something relating to, is your house a mess? And I'm just like, this is a grown-ass woman, by the way, 39 years old. I thought we were having a discussion like two adults, right? Because I clocked that. I was like, oh, like she's projecting about her own living environment. Everything.
And so y'all know this was definitely a projection. Everybody knows about Princella with the, you know, B. Taylor told us what happened, what was going on with her. Like, she's a little dirty, you know?
Thing Princella says is a projection of her own life experiences and of how she feels about herself. Okay. So when she comes on her lives and says, you guys are fucking hoes, you're this, you're that, you're there, that was her life. Okay. That was her life. That's who she was. When she talks about women being pick-me's, it's because she was a pick-me. Okay. Nobody picked her though. People were manipulating her and hurting her and breaking her. So instead of her going to therapy and dealing with her issues and dealing with her problems, she jumps from relationship to relationship because she has a codependency problem. She's jumped from men to men to men, and then she's now jumping from women to women.
Oh, sorry I don't know how I did that. Hold on, y'all. How did I do that? Let me go. Can I go right back?
Let's talk about projection, okay? Princella is a
so I think we were about right here.
In people's energy, and she likes to drop her negative energy onto other people. Okay, that's who she is as a person. A few weeks ago when I went on that live with Princella, before I even turned my camera on, the first thing that she says to me, I'm saying hi like a normal, polite person. First thing that she says to me is something relating to, is your house a mess? And I'm just like, this is a grown-ass woman, by the way, 39 years old. I thought we were having a discussion like two adults, right? Because I clocked that. I was like, oh, like she's projecting about her own living environment. Everything Princella says is a projection of her own life experiences and of how she feels about herself, okay? So when she comes on her lives and says, you guys are fucking hoes, you're this, you're that, you're there, that was her life, okay? That was her life. That's who she was. When she talks about women being pick-me's, it's because she was a pick-me, okay? Nobody picked her though. People were manipulating her and hurting her and breaking her. So instead of her going to therapy and dealing with her issues and dealing with her problems, she jumps from relationship to relationship because she has a codependency problem. She's jumped from men to men to men, and then she's now jumping from women to women, going from B to...
What did I say last year? She done sucked every dick. Now she want to eat every clit. I literally said that. Literally said it.
Taylor straight to Jasmine. Maybe there was another one. There also was the SA victim that came forward. She doesn't know how to be alone, all right? Because you can't be alone with yourself if you hate yourself. That's actual reality. That's why a lot of people can't be alone with themselves, because they haven't faced all like the hard things about themselves, all the fucked up things about themselves, and all the shitty situations that they have in fact put themselves through. Princella talks about how she ran away from home. So I'm sure there was some things that went on in her life when she was a kid. And I'm not using any of this against her, by the way. I'm just explaining to y'all what projectors do. These are negative projectors, okay? Who she is as a person. When I went on live with her a few weeks ago, I saw how insecure and how much pain she actually is going through, and she's never actually dealt with it. Yeah, because at 39 years old, her trying to have like the victim Olympics with me on a TikTok live, I'm 30, okay? But I've also dealt with a lot of my shit, okay? I'm not a perfect individual. I'm not perfectly healed, but I've dealt with my victim mentality 5 years ago, okay, when I became sober. So I went through that fucked up healing part that she's never gone through, and I don't know when she ever will, or if she ever will. She has a really big, inflated ego, right? A very fragile, disgusting ego. Because she was unloading all of her trauma on that live for no fucking reason, right? I just let her talk. I was like, oh, okay. I think she expected me to go back and forth with her and be like, but this happened to me, but this happened. I'm not going to do that with people like that. I'm not going to go into the victim Olympics with people. 2 reasons. Don't tell people your fucking trauma, because people like that will use it against you. For another reason is because there's no winning with people like that. They're trying to outcompete you already. Let them have it. Let them have it. Let them show who they are, because all she did was show me is that she is a broken individual who's never done any sort of healing work. And it really just shows in how she acts and how she talks on her lives and how she talks to her followers that she's never done any sort of healing work, okay? She is a projector. She is a projector. She's projecting her pain onto everybody in society. She's projecting her pain onto every single partner that she has, because she hasn't dealt with her really fucked up wounds. I'm assuming this started in her childhood, because she, like I said, she mentioned something about y'all did this because you're 12 years old. So I'm assuming something happened to her around then. And if it did, she needs to deal with that, okay? If you don't deal with you being a victim, you're probably going to end up being a fucking predator, which is something that we're seeing right now. And maybe it's a good thing that I'm calling her out right now. Maybe it's a good thing that we're catching it early before she goes too fucking young, right? Priscilla is a broken ass individual, and I don't have to compete with broken ass people, all right?
Okay. So actually, let me go back to her page so I can continue where we were going. Yeah, she's got her pegged. Ren, I think you need to get a piece of this as well. We're gonna set up the panel with Elisha's, and we gonna get into it, because baby, yeah. So let me find the next video. I think, let me see. Okay, so we went to this one. We have this one. Hang on one second. I'm trying to get where we were. Where is it? Okay, right here.
So at the club, there definitely was pimps that would come in, and oftentimes I would be the one that would go up to them and give them a hard time, because there was nothing more irritating to me than when men came in the club and they tried to finesse women for their fucking money. That was probably the most irritating thing for me to see, because yes, customers that are broke are really fucking irritating, but when I spotted one of these motherfuckers, okay, I would oftentimes go give them shit and, you know, kind of try to run them out of the club, because I didn't like them. They irritated the fuck out of me. Multiple different types of pimps. There's boyfriend pimps, there's gorilla pimps, there's a couple more off the top of my head, I can't remember. But essentially the boyfriend pimps, kind of like how Princella's acting, come in and act like they really like you, you know? They come in and sell you a dream, right? They treat you as if you're a girlfriend that they want to take out, right? They're like, come to dinner with me, you're so beautiful. All the things of kind of like catching just a regular girlfriend, except what it turns into is eventually you're giving him your money, okay? It's like a slow thing. Right? It's a slow thing. What these pimps would do is they come into the club, they're trying to find girls, especially they're looking for young, dumb, and naive girls, okay? Whether they're just completely fresh meat, okay, if they came in there at 18, or if they just look like they are dancing on the stage and they don't know what they're doing. Because there's different indicators for how a girl is new in the club, right? Especially if you see them on stage. If they look really nervous, like they don't know what they're doing, new girl. And if she's dancing really well, really calm on the stage, she's been there. She knows what the fuck she's doing. All of them run like a different type of game, but essentially it's the same fucking thing. The ones that I would talk to, they would be like, so, like, how's your night? Like, what's a good night here? Like, is it always this busy? Da-da-da. I would give them so much shit. Okay. They'd be like, what's like an average night for you? I'd be like 20,000. Like 20,000. Mind you, the club is empty. The club is empty because there's no other reason I'd be talking to one of them unless the club is empty. Because sometimes I would get bored and I was like, you know what? I need some entertainment. Let me see what this idiot's going to say. Male pimps are not the only ones that exist. Actually, there's female pimps that are in the club. Essentially, they're working with her boyfriend pimps most of the time. Or she might be working solo, trying to be a madam, the way that Princella is kind of trying to be. Because there's also girly pops in the club that are also manipulative to the women that are also new. They kind of sell them the same exact dream. They look for the young, dumb, and naive ones. They're like, I'm going to teach you the game. I'm going to show you this and that. This is how you get money from this. And then, but slowly but surely, it will excel to the new girl that started out completely new, doesn't know what she's doing, to maybe doing more than she wants to do. Right. And then it turns into her paying the other woman's man. Right. Because it's kind of like an MLM scheme in real life. Right. So men are not the only ones that run this game on women, okay? So when you work in the club and you're brand new, you have to be fucking aware of this because everyone is trying to get their piece of the pie, right? So it's not just you trying to get your piece of the pie, competing with the other girls in the club. There's a pimp that's also bringing his own girls into the club, trying to take all the money from the club and then maybe go to a different club. I'd call it like being a tourist, essentially. So I've witnessed all these different archetypes, and for the most part, what it really is about manipulation, essentially. And learning how to manipulate the person you're talking to or the audience that you're talking to on social media, because everything is marketing, everything is manipulation, including this video. I'm joking. It's funny to me that she had to interview pimps, you know, like a little fucking dork, right? When this is just my life. This is just my life. Also, why I never got dog walked, because I saw who men were very soon. So at the club, there definitely was pimps that would come in and often.
I love the dog walking reference and the fact that that literally is a valid point, though. Like y'all think y'all the authority on relationships, on what women should be doing, on male behavior because you were a fucking fool and not the ones who never fell for the shit. Like, I don't even think that I'm an authority, an expert or any of that, but I tell you what, I ain't never been no nigga's fool. I've never done those things. Like, y'all can project what you want because that's your experience, but these women, these BWE content creators have literally did an experience some to me, and I'm not victim blaming, but why is it that when people experience these horrible relationships, these horrible situations, as soon as they get out of them, they're an expert on everything. They're an expert on what women should be doing, what you should be saying. All of a sudden, as soon as I finally see the light, 2 months later, they're a content creator and they're I just want to help women. I just want to educate women. How about go somewhere and heal and figure out why you was a damn fool? How about do that? Figure out why you a damn fool. That's what you do. So anyway, really quickly, I do want to pivot for just 1 second. And what I want to pivot to is, hold on 1 second. Never mind. I'll do that a little bit later.
Women and men are addicted to love, and women and men are addicted to the chase, dopamine.
Okay, this is.
Hear ye. I want women to center success.
Age gap dating. How do we feel about older individuals dating much younger individuals? Princella, let's start with you.
I'm a leader in my mentality, and even when you are, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, military, whatever, you have a code of ethics. The higher you go, it becomes unethical to date or deal with lower enlisted people, right? Because you have a power over them. So when it comes to, I don't care if it's a male or female, I am not for major age gaps, because there is a power gap, and people are out here power driven and ego driven, and most people in those younger age gaps end up getting screwed over.
right? And I'm a humanitarian, and I'm about righteousness, and it's unethical for older people to be fucking with kids.
Well, that's very odd. That's very suspicious, isn't it? Someone that thinks that age gap relationships are unethical, why the fuck is she in a 16-year age gap relationship with someone who was 23 when she met her? Not only is it hypocritical, which I think is the lightest label I can put on this, it's actually just perverted. Moving in a 23-year-old into your fucking house in a year after she goes to your fucking coaching program? Talk about unethical behavior and business practices.
Because she mature, bitch. Why you dating a 23-year-old? Why you...
Age gap dating, how do we feel?
Tearing that ass up, literally tearing that ass up. Okay. Is she wrong though? Drop a blue heart if like it's obvious that she studied this woman and she got her down packed. So now I want to share something with you guys really quick. This is totally optional. I just want to share this. There's a link going in the chat and I'll pin it. This is my cousin. Many of you guys know I told you about what happened with Xavier after he came to visit with us. We flew his dad out for the Christmas holidays. He was recovering from a broken hip then. And when he got back home, really shortly after that, they found out that one of the reasons why he was breaking his bones and stuff was because he actually had bone cancer. And there's a lot going on. And I have never done anything like this for my family. Typically I do this kind of stuff for a Viber in need. I'll share this, but I just let my ego go. I let my ego go. This is Xavier, and he'll be 10, and he is battling cancer. And he's being treated at St. Jude's in Baton Rouge, and they live in Shreveport, and they've ended the funding for the transportation. He's been through a couple of surgeries, some infections and all of that kind of stuff. And when his dad had to stay in Shreveport for a little while, and he was there for 2 weeks, basically at the hospital, by himself with minimal visits from family at that time, because, everybody has their life. He ended up with like the bed sores and all of this kind of stuff. So it's obvious that even though we're thankful for St. Jude and what they're doing, that they need some assistance. They need someone there all times. So because they've ended the funding to transport him from Shreveport to Baton Rouge, now his dad has to move there temporarily. So he's going to have to give up his place, his work, everything that he does in order to, be there and be near. His car is down, all kind of stuff. So I'm asking, even if it's $1, if you guys could come through and support and help. But really, honestly, prayers are paramount. Okay, that is the highest form of currency. No pressure. Those of you, I had not checked. I didn't even realize you guys were actually donating until I went over and looked at it now, and I appreciate you guys. So I just wanted to share that. I'll pin the link in the chat, and we'll get back on with the show. But his name is Xavier, and I share with you guys, what he's been going through and everything. And I will promise to keep you guys updated on this. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for listening for that. So I'm going to go ahead and go over, and we're going to get back on with the program. I'm going to switch the energy, change the energy, and get back into this. But thank you guys so much.
Imagine going through a breakup and you're looking for advice online, and you go scrolling through all these decenter men creators, and then you find fucking Captain Hook spread eagle in this fucking chair, trying to seduce you and tell you to be a fucking lesbian and join her fucking cult. Because trust, I have seen the struggle wigs, I have seen the way that she gets ready, I have seen the way that she wears long ass eyelashes while wearing jerseys. Not my style, not my style. Clearly, she had no funding for an actual stylist, so she decided on her own to throw this fucking outfit together to try to seduce women into joining her queen-making cult. This is the furthest thing from sexy. I'm assuming that that's what she was going for. Like, meet your predatory boss in your office and tell him to keep his hands to himself, right? That's honestly very fitting considering the scandal that I have uncovered myself. Because nothing screams predatory business behavior than dating your fucking clients. Nothing screams predatory behavior than dating a 23-year-old and moving her into your house in less than a year. Because if it was a fucking man, I would hold them to the same exact standard, which I do often on this page. Because being a predator isn't cool in any year, actually. Imagine going through a breakup.
Okay,
and you're looking for advice on
that was a read, y'all, but it wasn't just a read. That was a bit of education. Okay. And look, I'm sorry, I gotta play that one. I gotta play that one again. That was a good one. That was a good one. Do me a favor, hit the like, but baby, I cannot.
online, and you go scrolling through all these decenter men creators, and then you find fucking Captain Hook, spread eagle in this fucking chair, trying to seduce you and tell you to be a fucking lesbian and join her fucking cult. Because trust, I have seen the struggle wigs, I have seen the way that she gets ready, I have seen the way that she wears long ass eyelashes while wearing jerseys. Not my style, not my style. Clearly, she had no funding for an actual stylist, so she decided on her own to throw this fucking outfit together to try to seduce women into joining her queen-making cult. This is the furthest thing from sexy. I'm assuming that that's what she was going for. Like, meet your predatory boss in your office and tell him to keep his hands to himself, right? That's honestly very fitting considering the scandal that I have uncovered myself. Because nothing screams predatory business behavior than dating your fucking clients. Nothing screams predatory behavior than dating a 23-year-old and moving her. Priscilla is a groomer. She met that girl in her little Queen Maker program. Imagine a therapist dealing with the patient and then they start dating them. It's literally grounds for losing your license. It's that serious. If you're using some sort of programs that you're creating or coaching, whatever, and then you're dating the clients, fucking grooming her. Priscilla is someone that has a large following, so she already has some authority over whoever this girl is. It's the same type of power dynamic in a different sense with like Diddy and Cassie. Power dynamic is not balanced at all. That 23-year-old girl came to Princella being like vulnerable, trying to go into her program. Her being the victim, Princella being the savior. And to top it off, the isolation, moving her in like that. That's also love bombing. Because from what I remember on one of her lives that I did fucking join, she was explaining how she has someone living with her and she was saying they're not intimate, but she's there. So in my mind, I was like, oh, like maybe it's somebody that's her age. They're really like out the way. It's a 23-year-old girl that she has moved in to basically probably do her childcare for her and to work for her. Her turning a coach-client relationship into a relationship is a fucking red flag. They're gonna keep saying she's 24 now, she's about to be 25. They started dating when she was fucking 23. No shit, people get older. Priscilla herself talks about men who go after young and naive women. Now she's saying she's mature. She's a fucking predator. Part of Princella's platform is literally telling women to be lesbos. Someone's gonna come here and be like, she never told me that. Then y'all aren't listening. Go to one of her fucking lives. Big part of her platform is telling women that you have to date women. That's the entire reason for the patriarchy. And though I do believe that a lot of these things could potentially be true, I don't believe that you can tell people to change their sexual orientation. This is very cult-like. Showed the clip of her literally saying that older men try to go after young and naive women. That's what she's doing, contradicting herself. This is so predatory. Encouraging women to change their sexual orientation under social pressure is not liberation. It's manipulation. No one should coerce you into being a lesbo. That's cult behavior. I don't tell women to become lesbians on my page. Because oftentimes women come to my page and they're like, so what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to date women? And I'm like, no, you're supposed to do inner healing work. Because that's actual reality of all of this. Other people should do your healing work and that someone else should fill the void for you. Clearly, Princella is a really good example of this because she doesn't know how to be alone. Well, her last girlfriend, 32, and then she jumps down to dating a 23-year-old. What's next, Princella? What age are you gonna go down to? Because if you don't call shit out like this for what it is, you're a fucking weirdo. Grooming is fucking weird. People like to argue about this shit with Cassie. They're like, even Princella tried to argue about it. Cassie was 19. She was legal. The power dynamic in the relationship put her in a fucked up position, one that she literally couldn't get out of. Because once you get too deep into that, you kind of have no way to get out. Or if you ever even have an opportunity to get out alive, right? Her dating a 23-year-old and fucking grooming her is so fucking disgusting. Her entire platform was just built off of pain because men dog walked her. Naturally, now she's turning from the victim to the predator. He's fucking weird. Priscilla is a groomer. She met that.
So listen, y'all know I talk too much, and reviewing a video when people are making points, I have to stop it. Y'all know it's my toxic trait. I don't like. She could just talk. She ain't told no lie. Not yet. Not yet. And I'm trying, like, where the bonobos? Where y'all at? Where y'all at, Muffin? Where you bonobos at? I think I may drop the link in case anybody needs to defend. Okay. I want to know where the bonobos at. Okay. Let's go.
Princella is a dumb, evil bitch, and I realize that a lot of people are missing the point of the entire message that I'm sharing here. I, too, thought maybe she really is this top elite picker, because that's what she says. Her part of her story is that she picked amazingly, she got married, she had a kid with that man, he had her put up in the house, and she was such a great picker, but he still dogged her out. Like, that's a core belief that she has, that she says, even though I did everything right, he still dogged me out. But the fact of the matter is that she actually didn't pick him right, okay? She got pregnant within 2 months. She was 32, he was 58. They were not even married, okay? And then they got married quickly. So she was dog walked, and that's why she's on here butthurt, booty tickled about who men are, even though she never did it right. Which, okay, we can all say that men aren't shit, right? We can say that. But for her to come on here and claim, I did everything absolutely fucking right, and he still cheated on me, it's because of her bruised ego, okay? It's because she has so much shame about her circumstances and of her life situation. Because if she literally told people that part of the story, her entire brand would fall apart. And I just think that's so fucking funny, because not only does she lie about that entire part of it, she also dogs out women about going through similar situations. That's where I'm like, oh, you're actually a dumb fucking bitch. It's one thing to learn from human experiences, because we're all fucking human beings. We make mistakes. We do a lot of dumb shit. I've done a lot of dumb shit too, right? But then it's another fucking thing to fabricate your fucking story and make yourself look like you're better than you are, and then shit on women about it. That's like a whole different situation. That's a weak bitch mentality, right? At her big age. And then to top it off, she's dating a fucking 23-year-old at her big age, talking about she's mature. She's a fucking pervert. She's a pervert. The men were dog walking her entire life. Word on the streets, 7 abortions later. Again, no judgment except for the fact that she judges women so fucking harshly. That's where it gets a little fucking weird. Because like I said, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody goes through things. But if you are talking down to women really aggressively the way that she does, while she is probably the biggest fucking perpetrator of being dogged out, right? And doing dumb shit, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's a weak, bruised ego. She is embarrassed about all of her life fucking choices. If y'all go look at her old shit, she was a fucking pick-Misha, okay? Which is fine. Everyone's a fucking pick-Misha. But she doesn't paint that entire story. She doesn't do that for a reason, because she has to put herself on this moral high ground of, I'm so fucking smart. I'm a scholar. I have 3 books on my bookshelf. I also got dishonorably discharged from the military. She's a fake dumb bitch. That's what I see. I see a fake ass bitch. She is probably the worst leader for women, because she can't lead shit. All right, she's leading with fabricated lies. It's funny when she talks about this whole Farrakhan, archetype that played her. It seems as though she got played by a Farrakhan individual, and she decided to try to morph into him to try to turn women into lesbos.
Yep.
Okay. Put them in this cult that she's creating for herself. I think that's so fucking weird. She's a fucking weirdo. She's a cult leader. This bitch is crazy. Ah, man. The tea is hot. It's iced coffee, but Princella.
Listen. Y'all, I mean, listen, is she wrong though? Is she wrong? And you know, we've been saying for years, like, what in the Elijah Muhammad is she channeling? You know how she be talking like this and channeling Martin Luther King and Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad at this. She literally sounds like Elijah Muhammad sometimes. But her mannerism, oh baby, it's giving Farrakhan. It's given. Yes, Blue, she is. She is going in. So let's continue.
I ain't got no
Oh, this is just a.
Do you look at her as victim in this trial?
No, I don't believe in victimhood. I believe that it takes two to tango, right? A lot of times you won't see me in a situation because if you show me something that go against my morals, I'm just not going for it. I'm not going.
So then why did you let a 58-year-old man dog walk you and get you pregnant within 2 months? Is that something that you were going for before you were married, by the way? So what about all the abortions you've had? You know, and doing all these things, like that's part of the human experience and making mistakes. I understand that. But it's this moral high ground that bitch puts herself on. Coming onto this platform, down talking to all women who are likely people who made the same mistakes that she made. But instead of her being honest about her full fucking story, showing who she really fucking is, she instead has twisted her story just enough to make it look like she's always made the right decisions. But I'm not dumb. The man that impregnated her was a 58-year-old truck driver whom she quickly married so that she didn't appear as a single mother. So Princella, sweetheart, you have made plenty mistakes, but yet you keep coming onto this platform calling everyone else bitches and hoes when you in fact have been dog walked your whole life. But instead of being a humble human being and going through a healing phase, you've decided, I'm going to make an example of men and women, because I get it. That mother wound and that father wound must be really triggering. So
Absolutely.
You're thinking, I'm going to take everyone else down because I was a dumbass my whole life. Because it's clear she has no fucking pattern recognition. For her to write an entire book of all the men that dog walked her, for her to write a book about all the time she's been manipulated, essentially, just tells me that you don't know when to get out the game. It just tells me that you don't know how to play the game. So instead, Princella is choosing to run this game on a 23-year-old woman. A very questionable age gap relationship for someone who says that they are so wise. Didn't you want to date someone that is your age and just as wise as you? Or, Princella, are the women that are close to your age not falling for your bullshit? Because this behavior is very typical of even passport bros that decide, well, all these women aren't shit, so I'm going to go to a different country and manipulate the 18-year-olds over there. Is this not the same thing, Princella? And judging by your answer of, well, if it doesn't match up, morally with me, shut the fuck up. Capper of the century. Princella has been getting dog walked, and now she's just hurt on the internet telling everyone that they need to join her lesbian cult. Truly fascinating.
Do you look at her as
So yeah. Again, and any feedback, I will drop the link, but I do want to get through some of these videos because I know that there's a lot here. There's a lot to decompress here. Let's go, ladies.
Wrong with dating someone much younger than you anyway.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies.
This is captioned, Princella the Queenmaker's whole brand is a lie. She's had 7 abortions while calling all of her followers hoes. She got impregnated by an old man within 2 months of knowing him. She is brainwashing her new girlfriend into her lesbo cult. Baby, look, this is serious, okay?
When they go low, I go lower.
She is straight coming for her. Hey, Ambi.
Priscilla was talking about Trump being a rapist, but this whole time she actually was a rapist. This whole time she's also a fucking predator, dating a 23-year-old at 39. What an interesting find, truly. Everyone is lying, but Princella, with the evidence in her house, isn't. The evidence of her being a predator is right now in her house, on live with her. And if it was a man, I'd be saying the same shit because I've been saying the same shit. Age gap relationships are weird. They are predatory. It's a disgusting power dynamic. We talk about the men and we're like, would you be friends with a 23-year-old? No, they wouldn't. And guess what? I wouldn't even be friends with a fucking 23-year-old. I'm only 30. That bitch is 39. What are we talking about right now? Y'all defending her is so fucking weird. Priscilla was talking about Trump being a
I cannot. Like I just.
Evolution is part of the human experience. You have to let the old version of you die, burn that shit to the ground.
That's
if
true.
you want to
That's
evolve.
true, but we just
It's always them because they looking for a reason. Like, I wouldn't dare date some of you old motherfucking women. You fucking
They
delusion. You
messy as
can't.
hell.
You're messy. You don't want to learn shit.
Incapable.
You incapable of learning. You incapable of changing your fucking mind.
So I'm a baby when I'm dealing with a woman, but if I was dealing with a man, oh, she grown.
Right. Yeah.
She grown. She a legal adult. And then it's fine when you dealing with a man who's actually going to use you.
It's always them because they.
Okay, can we discuss this real quick? Does she not sound just like any red pill man? And she literally does have Jasmine's mind, doesn't she? She literally does. Like, listen, this is what the men say. If they don't want to deal with old women, newsflash, Muffin, you're not a spring chicken. Mind you, you look like an old man as opposed to an old woman, but y'all get what I'm saying.
It's always them because they looking for a reason. Like, I wouldn't dare date some of you old motherfucking women. You fucking
They
delusion. You
messy as
can't.
hell.
You're messy. You don't want to learn shit.
Incapable.
You incapable of learning. You incapable of changing your fucking mind.
So I'm a baby when I'm dealing with a woman, but if I was dealing with a man, oh, she grown.
Right. Yeah.
She grown. She a legal adult. And then it's fine when you dealing with a man who's actually going to use you.
It's always them because they looking.
Women are coming in here and defending Princella the same way that men would be in these comments. Isn't this the funniest thing you've ever seen? Girly pops are even saying, why are you attacking women? Why are you attacking women? The same way the men are saying, why are you attacking all of us? Why are you attacking all of us? I'm talking about one bitch. Princella is a fucking weirdo. She's a fucking predator. There's nothing normal about her being a 39-year-old ass woman with a 23-year-old in her house. There's a reason she can't get anyone her own age. I say the same shit with men because the women her age don't put up with her shit because she's a fucking manipulative narcissist and she needs that power dynamic in a relationship. So the fact that the girls are coming here trying to defend Princella, but when I was roasting the men for the same thing, it was like, yeah, get him. The pitchforks were out for them. Now it's like, oh, no, not her, not her, not her. Princella's a fucking weirdo wearing a fucking mask online. Her real personality is a broken ass woman. Got impregnated by a 58-year-old man when she was 32 within 2 months. She's the most intelligent. Mind you, that was 7 years ago. I'm not even 32, but I would never let an old-ass 58-year-old man impregnate me. Me and her are not the same. Clearly, because I also wouldn't date a fucking 23-year-old. Because that's so fucking weird. But not only am I going to call out the men that are being predators, I'm going to call out the women too. What the fuck? Someone else was in my comments talking about, yeah, but women are the bigger victims. What the fuck are we talking about? Woman came on here saying she was SA'd by Princella last year. Is she fucking lying? B. Taylor was saying she was abused by Princella. Is she fucking lying? Is everyone lying? No. Princella is the perfect angel that is dating a 23-year-old woman right now, not showing us any signs of being a fucking weirdo. Bro, Princella is a broken, insecure woman. That's why she acts like this. Women are coming in here and defending Princella the same.
Listen, okay. What's her name? Like, look, girls, girl alive, what is happening here? I mean, the reads are reading. And Princella, you got 24 hours to respond, baby. And we don't want to hear no bullshit.
Huge part of Princella's platform is saying that women should be lesbians and leave men alone entirely. She constantly talks about telling women that they should date women. The reason I'm bringing up the fact that she got pregnant within 2 fucking months is because when she goes on lives with her followers, she is shitting on them, okay? She is coming at them saying things like, that's why I got married and did everything the right way. I got married before I had the kid. That's a fucking lie. Okay, she got pregnant within 2 months and then got quickly married after because she didn't want to be a single mother. So it's the fact that she puts herself on this pedestal of doing everything right. She even says that this man that she got pregnant with was a millionaire. I was in her lives when she said this shit. Come to find out, that man is actually a truck driver.
Not only was he not a millionaire, like I don't know if the videos are, I know we still have the videos, but I don't know if we have them in StreamYard, that he was just a truck driver. Not to say that truck drivers don't make good money, but they lived in a fucking apartment. What millionaire is living in a fucking apartment? They did not own a home. They lived in a fucking apartment. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just, he was not a millionaire. Tommy Carr is not a millionaire, okay? At all.
Okay? Truck drivers can make great money, but that's not the fucking stories that she's sharing. You can go into any one of her lives. I guarantee you, a day that you go into her live, you will see her saying these same statements of, I did it right, I did it this way, you can never fucking do this, you have a baby dad, da-da-da. She does it often in her lives, okay? I've gone into like 2 random lives that she had on TikTok, like random fucking days. Both times, both claims were being made. Instead of just being down here and being like, I was a dumbass too and I got played, instead she keeps telling these women that I got married, I did it the right way.
Shut up,
He had me
Scar.
put up in this house. You can never fucking do it. And is now dating a 23-year-old woman. But I'm not allowed to call it out. I'm not allowed to call out the fact that she's being a predator, which is so weird to me. I've been calling out men for doing the same fucking thing. It is very bizarre. Huge part of
Because
Princella's
see, the thing
platform
is, like, the way that BWE is set up is you cannot hold a woman accountable. Y'all remember when the women were responsible for unaliving Shankella Robinson? What did BWE say? That it was a trans person, because it has to be a man, right? Whenever you try, when women are doing things, they say, oh, that's because she's male identified. She's like that because of men. Women have no fault. When the bitch got on here and threatened to curb stomp my elderly grandmother, and then they were coaxing Taz saying, oh, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? When he went in on her for threatening to beat his mother, he became the bad guy. Oh my God, did you just call her a bitch? Did you do, like, it's these women gaslight to no end. It is insane. Let's go.
You want me to keep talking about decentering men, right? That's what y'all want me to talk about? No matter.
This is just her responding.
Let me get this straight. So me talking about men is perfectly fine. That's not bashing. That's me stating facts, right? Talking about age gap relationships, men dating young women, men dating young women in other countries, passport bros, all those things are great for me to call out. But if I call out a woman who is 39, dating a 23-year-old, building a platform for women, guiding women, now that's bashing?
Yep.
You're bashing women. Comments I'm seeing are so fucking funny because it's literally just what the men were saying in my comments when I was pointing out their behavior. Men would come to the comments and say, you're bashing all men, because I would say all men often, but me simply calling out one individual, I'm not even saying all women as a collective, and the girly pops are losing their minds in my comments saying I'm bashing women. I'm not bashing women as a whole. We're talking about one fucking person. We're not allowed to do that. We can't hold women accountable. I see. I get it now.
Yep.
It really is a cult for just hating men. It was never actually about accountability. It is a cult for hating men and for being political. I get it now. I get it. Y'all got it.
But like, is she wrong? You cannot, like, the moment you try, even if the woman is like horrible, an abuser, a predator, a murderer, even if you call out a woman on any level, you will lose support, and these bitches get wild. They get wild on your ass.
This is why you don't share trauma online. This comment says you had to praise your bald boyfriend.
Oh, this was.
So the Queenmaker is doing a great job at showing us that not only men are predators, but women also can be as well. So it's actually not about gender. What it actually is about is ego, all right? It's also about ego and power. Once people's egos get really inflated, and if they get into a powerful position, or it's desperation and operating out of reptilian brain to survive, then all humanity leaves your brain. clean, okay? Now you are just operating out of survival like reptilians. If the girly pops come and defend this, I feel it. You know, I get it. Fair enough. But this whole time, I absolutely have been calling out men for dating women before the frontal lobe develops, okay? I absolutely have, because it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. All right, it's fucking weird. I'm gonna keep saying that. Know that Princella, once she fucking wakes up and she sees all this, because I know she watches content. She wants to lie about that shit too, even though she was all on my fucking page before. Once she sees all this, her defense mechanism is gonna be like, well, I'm gonna help guide her. Y'all don't know. She's a good girl. I'm gonna save her. The talking points. We're just think for a second before tomorrow comes of what you think she's going to say, and I bet you money that you're going to predict it. All right, she's going to use those talking points. She's going to say, y'all just don't understand. And then she's probably going to bring up her other ex-girlfriend and say, this is all orchestrated. It's orchestrated that you're dating a 23-year-old? You're doing that by choice. Odd. I think that's odd. I think it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. We truly have a codependency epidemic on this planet. Nobody knows how to be alone. If she just stayed in her fucking lane and minded her fucking business, I probably would have left her alone too. But on the other hand as well, if she also just stayed to herself and minded her own business, maybe focused on building this fucking dumb fuck clean maker brand instead of always having to have somebody next to her, maybe she would have gotten further, right? Instead of having to find young women to date like a fucking predator.
This is why you don't share.
Listen.
Priscilla's projecting about Cassie, because now that I see her actual story and how she got dog walked by an old ass man and got pregnant by him in 2 months, I now see her for.
Wait. Wait, why is she so like, did y'all catch that? Like, do you see how she just immediately goes in? Listen to the first 3 seconds.
Priscilla's projecting about Cassie, because now that I see her actual story and how she got dog walked by an old ass man and got pregnant by him in 2 months, I now see her for who she truly is. She will sprinkle in like pieces of her victim story, right? But she will say just enough to be like, but that could never be me. Y'all are some dumb hoes. The thing is, Diddy started dating Cassie when she was 19. I don't know if I'm remembering correctly. So he got her before her brain was developed. He tricked her, sold her the dream. I'm going to get you this, I'm going to get you that. And then they are trauma bonded together. Also, even blackmailing. There's a lot of layers to the whole Cassie situation. I think what Princella is trying to say is that that's the lifestyle that Cassie picked. Partially true, but Cassie really knew the entire extent of what she was picking. Would she have chosen that? No. This concept called determinism that one of my mutuals told me here, it makes a lot of sense because people think that they are operating out of free will when they're not. In theory, Cassie did choose that, except she didn't know entirely what she was choosing because she was like 19 years old and Diddy was like fucking 30 something, 39, I don't even remember. Which is funny because Princella is 39 dating a 23-year-old. It's just weird, you know? So do you think the girl that Princella is dating that's 23 years old would be making that choice to date her if she understood the entire scope of the situation? Or if she understood how older men or older women actually manipulate younger women, younger men into dating? Do you think Princella's girlfriend would stay there if she fully understood? Unlikely. Cassie also wouldn't have fully stayed if she understood. If she understood, hey, this man has a lot of power over you, and likely if you sign up for this, he's going to control you so fucking much that there's not going to be any way to escape. If she knew that, would she have signed up? Probably not. This is what happens in those power dynamic abusive relationships where someone is significantly older, the other person's younger, they aren't established, and they end up being taken advantage of. That's why this relationship that Princella is in with a 23-year-old is a little bit fucking weird. How young has she gone? Because Princella fully understands these power dynamics. But instead of being a guide for this conversation, right? Instead, she is using what she knows and she is manipulating a 23-year-old. Let me guess, is she going to also say that the 23-year-old knew what she signed up for? Sounds very victim blamey. I think realistically, this is an opportunity for that 23-year-old girl that Princella is dating to leave sooner than later. It's definitely not too late for her to find out the truth. But Princella is codependent, so she won't let her go. Not without a fight. Or she'll come on here and be like, see, look, she knows who I am. She knows who I am. She wants to be here. Jeez, it's giving that same energy of like R. Kelly and that girl. Fucking weird. Because yeah, it is legal. It's over 18, but it's fucking weird. So I was projecting about Cassie because
again, No lies told. Okay. Musings and Bloom says that girl could outplay Princella. Sella isn't that sharp. Too many weaknesses, baby. Okay. Flo's body cam says she has been running through women since B. Taylor. Indeed. Indeed.
Princella is a 39-year-old. Princella's projecting about Cassie because now that I see her, Princella is a 39-year-old dating a 23-year-old, right? She's a fucking predator, just like the men that I talk about who are predators, just like she has talked about being a predator. That's why I'm making these videos, because today is when I found out all of this information. People are saying, why didn't you do this research before you were going to debate her? I didn't know I was going to debate her. She came in my DMs acting like she was a girly pop, like a friend. She was like, hey, girly, no, I totally understand. Like, we could just chat about decentering men, life, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, she was just trying to divide and conquer using that live. So not only is she a fake-ass bitch, she's also a predator. During that live, she said, you're just young, you're inexperienced. But she is dating a 23-year-old, housing her, living together. I was under the impression that she had some women in her house that was like her same age, right? She mentions that they live together. It's just asexual. Like, it's really not that serious. Y'all don't understand what partnership is. That's what she talked about on one of her lives. So I just imagine someone her age, level-headed with her, watching her kid with her. She has a young adult in her fucking house. I, at my age, wouldn't be friends with even 23-year-olds, okay? Why would I have a 23-year-old living with me? I talk about these same things about men because it's fucking weird. It doesn't matter if it's over the legal age of 18, it's fucking weird. So that's why I'm talking about this, because this is newfound knowledge for me. If we're gonna hold men up to these standards of being fucking perverts, but she also does talk about that men like to go after women that are young and naive. Why is she acting like the men? Because it's one thing for her to make her comments on live, and I get it. People are like, she's being a misogynist, but it's another thing to be a fucking predator. It also just shows how fucking codependent she is. Because let me guess, her talking point about this situation is going to be similar to what the men say, right? She's just so mature for her age. We just get along better. To me, that's fucking weird. Because if she's going to call me young, naive, no experience, even though I didn't get tricked by some old man and got pregnant within 2 months, clearly I'm more intelligent than her. But if I'm young and naive, what the fuck does she think about that girl that's 23 years fucking old? Which, by the way, I think she met her through her like little program shit,
Yep.
which I think is fucking weird. So this course thing where you are teaching women, right? Queen maker, you're just looking for young, naive women to date? You know who else does shit like that? Cult leaders. Marilyn Manson might come to mind. This is predatory behavior. Using her platform to find young and naive women? Absolutely, I'm going to be saying something. I unfollowed her right after that live, and I said, thanks, I hope that y'all got what you wanted from that live. Something along those lines, something really short and brief. She sends me 2 paragraphs about some bullshit about, it's just how you perceive it. I know exactly what I saw during that live with her. She's a fucking snake, and she's a fucking predator. Princella is a 39-year-old dating a 20.
Okay, so listen, she says she gonna be doing this till August. Till August. Like, and look, is it just me, or are the reads educational, poetic, refreshing, succinct? Like for real? Y'all know I love me a good old nasty intellectual read. Okay. But like I look, I cannot wait to see what the bonobos are going to respond to this. And let's not forget, she said Princella is a snake, right? Let me tell you how big of a snake she is. Do you know she offered to pay someone to go after me and my husband with lies? She was going to pay someone. Baby, let's continue.
Who really knows why she won't divorce? Who really knows, you know? She says it's some nonsense about how it's hard to divorce in Texas. But I think everything is possible if you try hard enough. At least that's how I move around in my life. Maybe she's just attached to him because she did get impregnated within 2 months of knowing him. Codependency is final boss. It's even funnier because she likes to brag about how he's still around. I think one time she even told him that he has a girlfriend and he's glad or something. I don't know, some nonsense, right? He probably fucking hates her guts. Probably thinks she's an annoying ass bitch. He probably thinks that she's really fucking stupid because that's how men operate. If you let them do dumb shit like that, they look at you like you're fucking stupid. If you let a man impregnate you within 2 months, like he looks at you like you're mentally ill, like you're a dumb ass. If you give it up to men too easy, they look at you like you're fucking dumb too. So to me, this whole thing is just fucking funny. Because I would also look at one of my girlfriends like a dumbass if she let a man impregnate her within fucking 2 months of meeting him, of knowing him. I would be so disappointed. First rule of having a coochie is don't let people impregnate you, or at least don't keep it. I don't know. Because mistakes do happen, right? There's so many women that will let a stranger impregnate them and then be like, I'm going to keep it. And then they're shocked at how it doesn't work out. I don't think Princella has really worked through her embarrassment of that, though. That's why she comes on the internet and rubs it into women's faces saying, I did everything right and it still didn't work out. No, you fucking didn't. No, you fucking didn't. It's kind of like with Wizard Liz. Like, she didn't do everything right. Sure, she got the gifts from Landon, but she still got pregnant within 6 fucking months. That's not doing it right. I think like 2 years, right? Like, you kind of know somebody. Even then, you don't fucking know people. People are strangers. None of us know each other on here. Y'all don't fucking know me. Maybe I do work for the fucking CIA. Maybe I'm a fucking double agent just because I've been bored. But y'all don't know me. When I look at Princella, she is a very hurt individual. At her big age, being the victim is so fucking crazy to me. I don't think she has fully processed her victimhood. I know she hasn't. She's always pulling every single victim card. And that's not somebody that people should be looking up to. You should look up to people who have thrown away their victim mentality and who have just gone after something in their life. Because people with victim mentality will pull everyone else down with them. Which is clear that that's what she's doing. Maybe her baby dad feels bad for her. I don't know. Or maybe she's not signing the papers. Who fucking knows? This is why you can't idol worship. You just don't know who people are. Who really knows why she won't divorce?
Y'all, the reads keep reading. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Princella's been getting dog walked by men her entire fucking life, and now she's trying to dog walk women. That's really what's going on. Her last fucking straw was letting an old ass man impregnate her within 2 months. Even though I think her Farrakhan incident where she was also getting played probably should have been the one. What the fuck do I know about pattern recognition? To me, all I do see is a hurt individual, and that's kind of a talking point that people bring up on these apps. Are like, you're talking about men like this because you're hurt. And to me, that never made sense because I'm not hurt. I'm saying these are the games that they're fucking running on you. I know who men are. And if I want to deal with men, I will pick a dog just for fun. But to see her turn into the villain of her own story, even though I'm sure she always has been, who knows how much of her story is actually true. But to see her always getting dog walked and then be like, this is the book about men simply because she's experienced all of them, I'm sure. It's just fucking funny to me. Because I speak about all the men that I see in the club. I didn't have to get dog walked to see them, right? Because I would flip the script and I would dog walk them. There actually was a customer at one of my clubs and he would stay after hours and someone would walk him around on a leash. I'm not joking. After hours. Find out that she, in fact, is not living this life that she's talking about is so fucking funny to me. Because what Princella does on her fucking lives, I joined in on her 2 of her lives, right? And in both moments, I noticed how she tries to rub it into these women's faces and be like, I picked right. I did everything right. And he still hurt me. When matter of fact, she got pregnant by a man in 2 months. So it kind of discredits her entire little movement of saying it's all men, when really she's just a fucking dumbass. In reality, that's actually most human beings. Most human beings are fucking dumb. Put themselves in dumb situations over and over again without learning the red flags. My God, she's victim blaming. No, I'm just saying the reality of the hell that we're in. You never know what demons like Princella you will run into. It's so disrespectful that she goes on her fucking lives and tries to talk down to these women like I did everything right and you bitches could never. That's the shit that she says on there. When really all these men have been running game in her fucking face. To me, it's complete lunacy, actually. Because there's truly something sick in her head to be like, yeah, you gotta stop dating men. You gotta be a lesbian. When in fact, she's dating 23-year-olds like a fucking pervert. I'm sure finding them at the strip club like these perverts do. It's so fucking weird. Sure, it's legal, but it's fucking weird. Lucky for her, though, I am a free therapist, so hopefully she sees these fucking videos and starts to look in the damn mirror. Because she is the capper of the fucking century. Really?
Okay, so listen. Look. The way I'm enjoying this read, okay? Shout out to Ambi. Ambi, Gorlala, do you hear this? Ambi said, Lord, she ice cold with it and is, okay? And is. Flo's body cam crime and psychology review says Princella was edgeless and bald before, but her head is smooth, baby. Baby. Tay, she says she ain't getting off that bonobo's neck. She's not. And she's not. Like, I don't know if she has a she probably does. This is crazy work.
First,
Princella's been getting dog walked by men her entire fucking life.
first man to run game on me was speaking that Farrakhan stuff.
God knows how many other men ran game on her up until that point where that old man got her pregnant within 2 months of knowing her. Truck driver, not a millionaire, by the way. Although truck drivers can make good money. It's not this lifestyle that she paints. She says that she was put up in the house, that she got married, she did it right. Getting pregnant by a man in 2 months and knowing him isn't doing it right. That's why he's not in your life, right? Because he was just there temporarily anyways. It appears that Princella has always been getting played by men, and that's how she was even capable of taking all those notes down for her book. Because it just kept happening to her. Someone that claims they're so fucking intelligent, you would think that eventually they would see the game that's being ran on them. What do I know? I'm just a stripper that doesn't know anything about game, except for the fact that I was running game on men for 10 years in the club. Men didn't get one over on me. I also got finessed out of thousands and thousands of dollars from a man as well. How many times do you have to get played before you learn? I'm just a dumb stripper that doesn't fucking know anything, except for the game that men run on women. That's why I didn't end up pregnant by some old fucking man in 2 months of meeting him. I fear that's kind of like the first rule of being a woman. Just don't let strangers impregnate you. Even with everything that I know about men, I don't fucking hate them. I also don't tell women that they need to be fucking lesbians. Though I understand all the layers of the patriarchy and human behavior, I know that in reality, that's not going to happen anytime soon. I think someone like Princella definitely needs to start her fucking healing journey. Work on her codependency problem. Because she hasn't been single a moment in her life, apparently. Jumping from one man that's gonna hurt her to the next woman that she's gonna hurt. That's when you have to sit down with yourself and be like, okay, there's a problem. And that's kind of the message that I preach here. I'm not telling y'all to hate men. I'm telling y'all that all human beings have to go on a healing journey, period. Unhealed people are gonna hurt people.
True.
Hurt people will hurt people. It is just a cycle. One of the easiest indicators of people who are hurt is people that jump from relationship to relationship and have codependency. Because the best thing that you can do during this human experience of yours is learn how to be by yourself. You came here alone, you're gonna leave alone. Does that mean you have to be alone forever? No. But it is incredibly important for your own healing journey. Otherwise, you're going to end up being a 40-year-old dating 23-year-olds in order to try to fill the void. Other people are never going to heal you, Princella. I think it's time to look in the fucking mirror.
First man to run game on me.
Listen, baby, this BWE. Cause like I know y'all see this. It's a damn shame that y'all punk ass bitches could not come out and say exactly, because you know she's not lying. I did it, right? We did it, right? And y'all saw how the quote unquote subbies treated us for telling the truth. So y'all were too punk and cowardly to tell the truth, right? So look, but look, I guess Becky gonna have to take up the slack because y'all too cowardly to do it. Y'all was too busy trying to collab with her, trying to work with her, and then trying to compliment her message because that's what the people wanted. You didn't give a damn that the message was toxic. You didn't give a damn that she was grooming women and to be lesbians and all this shit. You didn't give a damn that she was the same Dusty that y'all claimed about. Y'all, they are so full of shit. Exactly. Absolutely. Everybody was a mammy. And Fuzzy says they're going to say it's racial and that girl is going to cook. I'm sure she's ready. Oh, baby, they already started. I'm sure it's all over TikTok. Maybe we'll find one before we close. They're going to do it. I know that they take issue with her because she's Republican. So you already know. If you're a Republican, you're MAGA and all this kind of stuff. So they don't like that. And so to be honest, this is why it's so divisive to even discuss politics. It's one of the most divisive things. And because of that, that's going to leverage. That's going to give, a lot of leverage to people. But look, I don't give a fuck. She's telling the truth. Okay. Telling the truth. Let's see what else we got.
Breaking news news, other feminists exposed for being a predator. This is Princella. She is currently dating someone that is 23 to 24 years old while she is 39 to 40 years old. A topic that we often talk about in the decenter men conversation about how men are predators. They date young women before their frontal lobe is fully developed.
And depend on women being dumb, right? Which is why they want young chicks who are impressionable, like old boy said on that.
To mention the fact of this creator posting this video about essay allegations. Now, is everyone lying or all the dots all connecting? Right. Because if the men are the perverts for dating young women before their frontal lobe develops, is that not the same for the women that also date young women before their frontal lobe develops? I think so. This girl, Jasmine, is 23. And from my perspective, because I did work in the club, the way that I see it is that Princella is actually her boyfriend pimp. Yeah, because of my experience in the club, I can see a pimp when I see a pimp, all right? Not to mention the entire story around B, Taylor, and Princella is quite alarming. It sounds like Princella's always been a narcissist, which actually adds up to her persona that she puts on online. Princella got dishonorably discharged from the military, so she never actually even finished her contract. Not only that, but she got finessed by an old man that was close to 60 years old that got her pregnant within 2 months of knowing her. Yeah, before they were married. So in reality, the only reason she makes this content is because she got tricked. All right, she got hurt, she got bamboozled, and now she's gonna hurt and bamboozle everyone else in her fucking path, including women, right? I believe in consistency and I believe in holding everyone accountable, even the perverted men that date young women and also the perverted women who date young women. It's all the same to me. And now, judging by the live that I actually did by her, I see that Princella actually felt really threatened that I was at my age and I never got finessed to the extent that she did. It appears that Princella has always been a pick-me and is now a victim in her own eyes. 39 years old at her big age, still pulling all the victim cards on live is quite embarrassing for me to see. Among other things, I think it's time that people really see who Princella really is. Sure, she's made some good points about men, but I think this is a case where the messenger should be shot. Breaking news, other feminists exposed for being a predator.
This is delightful. This is delightful. But like, it's
First man to run game on me.
hold on, I made a mistake.
Breaking news, other
This is crazy, y'all. Okay. Yeah, I want to know too. I want to know too. Exactly, Fuzzy. Baby, like we literally said that a white woman, look, when did we say that? Maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that a white woman was going to have to come in and clean black women's empowerment up. This is, girl, I can't.
On April 24th, 2024, at about 11:43 p.m., I was essayed by this lady. This lady decided to not put her hands on me once, but twice. Nobody can stop me from saying my truth or speaking my truth about this situation. We got ready to go celebrate someone's birthday, and when we were going inside of this location, this young lady was really acting like the male that you would never date, the male that she warns you about. I'm not understanding why she's giving off the vibe of a guy, male. She's giving off male vibes. I'm not really sure why this is happening, but I said it several times. I was like, why are you acting like the dude I would never date? Like, you act like the guy I would never date. And I was in disbelief that she was acting this way, but because of how she talks about. Anyway, we were leaving out of the bathroom at the casino.
Right.
Y'all telling me that you're in a fucking cult. That's what this decenter men conversation is about, huh? Y'all are in a fucking cult. Y'all are some fucking weirdos. Y'all want women to suffer with you. Nobody wants to give solutions. That's kind of what cults do. Cults tell you to come in here, we're going to save you, not telling you what you need saving from or how they're going to do it. Then they start saying crazy things like you have to be a lesbian to be saved. You must watch my videos about Sex in the City to be saved. Instead of being like, oh, actually, if you want to be saved, you just have to focus on school, get your own job, start trading, stop dating men for at least 2 years, go on your own self-healing journey. Instead, these cult leaders are just wanting y'all to be fucking victims. I thought I was just making fucking TikTok videos. I thought I was just telling people my story. Because apparently my story is the blueprint of decentral men. I can't imagine telling women to suffer forever because all these men are bad in that way. I was telling y'all the games that men are playing. If you choose to play, you're playing at your own fucking risk. Most of these dumbasses don't know how to play. They can't even get a trick to buy them a fucking AC, okay? Others are getting finessed and pregnant by old men. This is actually a cult. I don't really like cults, even though I did name my subscribers on TikTok a cult. I thought it was like a joke to, you know, build a cult following. I thought it was a joke. I didn't know the actual goal was to keep women in a victim mindset forever and tell them the only solution is to become a lesbian. I feel like that's kind of unhinged. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Y'all telling me that.
Let's keep it a buck. I also said that. I still have the video. I can put it back up. I said at the beginning of 2022, the only place that BWE could go is to lesbianism, because I proposed a problem when I started talking about other groups of men and bringing up the stats and the data and you know, because they would, you know, they want to just, you know, worship or elevate any man. And it was this thing where they was like, oh yeah, we need to be with Asian men because Asian men, okay. Asian men have the most divested women. Their women leave them more than any group of women. So you don't think that there might be an issue there, Muffin? You know, I literally said it. The only place that they could go is to lesbian in, because once you find out that they're basically teaching that all men are bad, all men are harmful, right? The only place that you could go is there. I saw it so clear. And if you think for 5 minutes that any of these women want to help you, does it even make sense? Now, the logic that we have about a certain industry that is supposed to take care of our health, I can't say it and y'all know why, but the logic that we have about that industry not really wanting to do it, and the people that are supposed to help our health are just paid to treat us, because if they cured us, they wouldn't make money. Remember those? It's the same logic. They want you fucked up, miserable, angry, and in fear. Look, I'm not even gonna say her name, but I saw a video of a content creator that claimed that somebody did something to her, right? I'm not one of those people that's gonna say something didn't happen, but it looks suspect. But what it was giving was, oh my God, Black women, we have to be so afraid because as soon as we walk up the house, men are going to accost us. And oh my God, I'm such a victim. Bull motherfucking shit. I am from Chicago. Okay. I live in Las Vegas. I am outside. Okay. I understand the statistics. I understand what they are. But to act like as soon as we walk out of our house, oh my God, something's going to happen. You need to scream. You need to run. You need to get the fuck out of here. These bitches want you paranoid. They want you angry. They want you in fear. They want you thinking that there is no hope. They want to literally, anytime there is a healthy relationship going on, they're going to diminish it, pick it apart, or lie on it because it goes against their brand. And if you are attracting only fucked up ass men, you're probably manifesting them. They literally sit there and talk about everything that they don't want all day. That is the first step in manifestation. You are literally putting that energy out there. That is your frequency, and that's what you're doing. But baby, look, I can't. The way that they sit up here and, oh my God, if you go outside, you're gonna get great. And these men, they're gonna hit you. They're gonna do this. Niggas be hitting, honey. Men be hitting. That's true. But we ain't all getting our heads beat in. Okay, we're not all victims of what they say every 5 minutes, right? It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just can't. Shout out to Ambi again. Thank you so very much, Ambi Gorlola. She says she made me spit out my watermelon and clutch my I would love some watermelon right now. I really, really would. But baby, I understand. Because she cooking.
Because you start to think that you're fucking crazy. And you would start to gaslight yourself and be like, it's you. Like, you start really believing, like, everything. Like, I found myself apologizing so much. Like, Priscilla, I'm sorry. I didn't know what I said was apologizes. I'm the only one. She's never apologized to me.
Oh, I get it. Princella is a cult leader? That's what I'm hearing? But so much is really starting to come together in my eyes. From the first hello girly message I got from Princella, right? Me asking, what are we going to talk about during this live? So it'll be pretty chill, flowing, and flexible. We'll keep it around decentering men, personal experiences, life purposes, and what we observe in the world. Me even warning her that there was already controversy going on around me at that time where people were trying to paint me as a white supremacist, and she just wanted to act like she was one of the girly pops. She assured me, no, this is going to be a girly pop live, positive vibes, flowing, chatting. Then it turned into an interrogation, which, okay, fine. Wearing glasses during the live, speaking down to me, and even pulling her own victim cards during the live was very fucking interesting. I have also dated a narcissist when I was 16 to 19, so I learned a lot about men early on. Obviously not all men, but it's the worst kind of individual you can run into. To me, it's quite odd that Princella is still married to her ex-husband, saying that women are very easy to trick while also being someone that was in the car salesman business, and I know all about those kind of sales. So selling a dream, selling a lie is quite easy, actually. People are very easy to trick. These are some crazy allegations against Princella that I didn't even fucking know about. Somewhat had a debrief, but I never actually watched the other person share their side of the story. There's 3 sides to a story, right? Yours, hers, and the truth. Which I think is kind of odd because I see a lot of hypocrisy in a lot of things now. Her telling me I don't do racist ideologies. Many women get upset because I say white women suffer at the hands of men more than black women. Yet on her latest podcast, she definitely was trying to talk about white women a lot to kind of pull those heartstrings of her viewers.
And let me stop there. Okay. Women suffering. I don't want any woman to suffer. I don't care what your race is. And I think it's trash behavior when women look, I know why people do this, but you got to stop doing this. When something happens to a woman and she's not black and your first thought to say, no black woman is harmed because she's mixed or she's white or she's Latina, that's trash, y'all. It's trash. And it always has been to me. And I'm not trying to judge people, but like it's trash, right? But here's the thing. Saying that white women are harmed more than black women, do you know how irresponsible it is? Nobody is a bigger victim of femicide than black women. No, we experience domestic violence more. We are unalived more, and we are raped more, and we are molested at the highest rates. Like, can we stop that? But of course, Princella understands her base, mostly black women. And a lot of us have bought into a culture of narcissism where nobody can be pretty but us, right? As soon as you acknowledge the beauty of a woman that is not black, no, because we're the blueprint. Okay, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But like, you can't even say another woman is pretty. Okay, you can't say another woman is a victim. You can't say it's just absolutely ridiculous. But Princella, I'm pretty sure, is going to leverage that against, because a lot of us want to hear this. A lot of us want to hear that, oh, Becky has it easier and all this kind of stuff. Trash men are trash men. Trash men are trash men, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she knows her followers are dumb and they're emotional and they're not going to call her to task. Okay. JMM55. Yes, she is still married to her geriatric truck driver that is not a millionaire. I didn't even know she started telling people that Tommy Carr was a millionaire. Tommy Carr is never even been close to a millionaire. Okay. No, he's not. Not even close.
She made some interesting points in her podcast. I just find it odd. The fear mongering is really fucking weird. I think the triangulation that was attempted here is also very fucking weird. I don't really understand what her motive is at this point. Because to me, it doesn't really scream intelligence for you to have a baby by a so-called millionaire that's fucking old and still be married to him. Logically, in my mind, if it was a millionaire and y'all weren't together, I would imagine that divorce would be easy. Also imagine he would divorce immediately because he doesn't want to continue to be involved with you. I'm also sensing a lot of codependency because to me, even with women outside this conversation, when they say, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to date women? No, you're supposed to work on yourself and not be codependent. I do find that certain personality types can't be alone, jumping from relationship to relationship, which I find fucking weird. Considering this topic is supposed to be about being self-centered, correct? Uplifting women. Maybe this is a narcissist. I hate throwing that word around because I think it's like overused. But I find this so fucking interesting. I'm seeing a lot of odd red flags here. Who is this mystery millionaire that just can't seem to file papers to get divorced? Fucking weird.
Because you start to think that you're fucking crazy.
Okay.
And you start to gaslight yourself.
Feminist creators are anti-capitalism, while also feminist creators are anti-capital. I know you're joking, but in reality, a lot of women do think like this. They're like, I'm not going to talk to men. I'm not going to look at them. I'm going to cuss them out. But it's all.
So I think this is the extent. I'll see if we can find some more stuff when we come back and do a full panel with some of the girl alives and Taz, because y'all know this is topic or whatever. Y'all, this is a mess. And because we're 2.5 hours in, okay, when we come back to do the panel, I'm going to get it scheduled and get it set up between today and tomorrow. But wait a minute. By the way, I'm interviewing Umar Johnson's ex, okay, the one that he called the throat goat. I'm interviewing her more than likely tomorrow morning. Cougar and I are on for tomorrow as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on. So we might come back and do this panel on this tonight. So I just want to say, yeah. And one more thing, listen, how in the hell, please help me. How in the hell is a millionaire finding it hard to get divorced? How is she? Because she makes good money. Okay. She makes good money on here. So how in the hell, with her making that money, can they not get a divorce? There was no assets between them. They've been separated for a long time. They did not own a home. They had nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But anyway, I'll be back later on. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you so very much to everybody that watched and tuned in on Facebook. If you're watching the playback, go on ahead and subscribe because we're in a relationship now. And the reason why we know that we're in a relationship is because it doesn't even matter. They're going to recommend my videos to you anyway. And you know you want to watch. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys so very much. I'm going to post some stuff on the community wall and open the community wall so that you guys can make posts as well. All right. I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas. Green face card, never decline of what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold